jacket. Got the panels in the front and then the panel in the back. I think it turned out pretty cute. There are some errors I need to fix and then unpick, but I think it's pretty cute. And I'm excited to do more of this, especially because I've learned so much doing this one and all the things I did wrong and things that I could do better. Let me show you a sneak peek of my next project. It's pretty great. So I'm gonna be putting this on the back of this jacket. It's very feminine. It's got cute little puffy sleeves and kind of a Victorian style front. So I think that these colors are gonna be beautiful for that style, but you'll have to wait till next time.
And a long story, but I'll make it as short as possible. This mother found out she was expecting and started making, these are called sunbonnet Sues, and they come in various varieties. Sometimes you'll see them with a big hat or really, really dolled up, but this is a pretty plain one. And so the mother started making sunbonnet Sues. She figured that she would put maybe 12 together, maybe 9 together for the baby. Mm-hmm. And of course, back then they didn't know early if it was going to be a boy or a girl. So she just kept working. Well, the baby came, and certainly it was a little girl, and she was happy, but didn't have time then to finish it for the baby. And so she, I'll do it for, you know, a birthday, maybe 8, 9, or 10 years old. So she just kept working. Didn't get it made then, but as time went on, her daughter got engaged, and this will be her wedding quilt.
Start with a line here. Remember, we need to start and end in the center. Out from the center, draw a line. We're just tracing one of these sections. And we'll start to edit some of these as we go. You want to focus more on lining it up to the near edge instead of to your picture. The picture just gives you a basic idea of what you're trying to draw. One thing to note is as you select these, if you click and drag, the node will be selected. It doesn't need to be selected for you to drag it, but if you do click and drag, you'll select both ends of these 2 lines.
But then you're just going to turn the machine on, and you're just going to move real slow and make those holes as you're going across. And even though it is a little slow, it's okay. We want it to be, okay? So it makes those holes correctly and a further distance apart, okay? Then after you have your holes poked, I'll take this one here. After you have them poked, I want you to bring it over to where you want to start sewing, and it'll be your whole pantograph. And poking the holes is going to give you that muscle memory, again, with using the sewing machine and going across the design. So it's going to help you understand how it's going to be quilted, so it's not going to surprise you. And so then I want you to lay the design down, pick up the pounce, okay, and then lightly tap it on there, and when you pull it off, voila, you have your design on your quilt. Pounce is awesome.
I brought the Grand Old Opry quilt. I rolled it up.
Did you?
Of course, I promised. I keep my promise, thank you. So it's like this long.
And she's lugging it around like this everywhere she goes.
Good morning. Welcome everybody to day 2 of our wonderful fall festival. We're so happy to have you back. I'm Jana Matthews. I'm with the Grace Company here.
And I'm Allegra Isnoznik.
Yeah, we're here for day 2. Now, for those of you who didn't get with us yesterday, we're going to give you all the information about how to rewatch and everything amazing that we had yesterday. But first, we want to find out where everybody is coming in from. So let's put in the comments where you're watching us from. We've had people from, we've got Marie Van from Michigan. It looks like we have a Corey Fisher. Welcome. Let's see, we've got Amy from Ecuador. Welcome, Amy. That's a long ways away. Let's see, we've got someone from New York and Kentucky, California. So keep those comments coming. We're going to go through everybody today and where we're going. So please, tell us more and more where you're coming from. Let's see, we've got North Dakota and Georgia. Where are some places that you see, Allie?
Oh, Utah, we got someone local. Nebraska,
Texas.
Arkansas, a couple from Arkansas in a row.
Panhandle of Oklahoma, welcome. So welcome everybody. Keep giving us those comments. We want to see where you're from. We want to hear all about all the amazing things that you're doing. So please, again, there are operators standing by, but on our chat, we've got people watching in our sales team, so they will be able to answer any questions you have about the show today, any of our amazing sales, and about our new home-based quilter, our HBQ information. So all those kind of questions that you have, we're going to go through all of those, and then also please, put them in the comments, and we'll be able to answer those questions. But first, while we're just getting started, Allie, I want to give away our first giveaway.
Oh,
what do you think about that?
I think we should.
Okay, so this is our 10-foot Luminess light bar. This is fantastic. Now this one is just over $600 in awards. It's fantastic. I mean, I don't know about you, Allie, but every time I go and turn on one of these, I'm just still shocked how bright it makes it, right?
Me too, yes.
I love also, we were talking earlier about how it's the true match system. So this is the 10-foot, so you can make it a 10-foot, an 8-foot, or a 5-foot, has all those pieces. So whether you have a 10-foot frame or an 8 or a 5-foot, you're taken care of. Now, if you have a 12-foot, you'll want to purchase the 2-foot extension as well. But before we get going too far talking about it, let's do the giveaway. So drum roll, please, for our giveaway of the Luminess 10-foot light bar.
Woo! Amy Westermeyer, congratulations. You are the winner of the Luminess 10-foot light bar.
Congratulations, Amy. Again, we have your information, so we will reach out to you and get your address and how to get it sent to you. But just a reminder for anybody doing prizes, write this email down. This is Melinda@graceframe.com. She will be the one if you're winning any of the live prizes. So the Plinko, anything like that. Just write it down now because you never know when you're going to win and then you don't have a pen with you. So right now, just live prizes. That's Melinda@graceframe.com so we can do that. So, Allie, what was one of the things that we talked about yesterday that was your favorite?
Ooh, that's a great question, and I think I'm going to use it for a Plinko giveaway.
Ooh, Plinko. So, already. Remember, Melinda@graceframe, yeah.
Yes, so my favorite part of yesterday was the charity that we picked for our fall festival. Oh, yes. So everyone drop the exact name of the charity that we picked and we'll select one of you for one of our Plinko prizes.
Okay, so there are we'll give everybody a hint. It's 3 words. That is the name of this charity. Let's see who can pick it. We're gonna give a little bit of time for everybody to put in the winners or the name so that we don't pick before everybody gets a chance to answer. But what was one of the things that you liked about this charity?
I liked that first off, I like that we picked a charity.
Yeah.
I love community service. It's something that I have a background in and it's something I'm really passionate about. And I also love that it's less about monetary donations and more about supplies and giving them the supplies that they need to create these things. And so I really liked that. I also really liked that it was embracing and helping uplift a culture. I thought that was wonderful.
That's fantastic. It's one of my favorite parts of yesterday as well. And we have a winner, Michelle. I'm going to butcher your last name, so I'll just say Michelle, Navajo Quilt Project. And so to donate to the Navajo Quilt Project, you can go to the site and do that. If you have any questions, remember it's the Navajo Quilt Project, not just the Navajo Project. That's a different organization, so we want to make sure you're doing it to the Navajo Quilt Project. So, Plinko winner for Michelle. Let's choose that prize.
All right, ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
A 4-pack of finesse thread.
Now these are the variegated finesse thread. This is a 4-pack. Now the finesse thread, Allie, I don't know if you've had a chance to see all the amazing colors that we have.
Yes.
We've got solid as well as variegated. It's a 1,500 yard cone so that you have enough to do a king size and your bobbins and have everything else that you need available on that. So congratulations, Michelle. Again, email melinda@graceframe.com and she'll be able to get that information out to you. Well, so Allie, my favorite thing of yesterday was the home-based quilter HBQ with our fantastic shirts,
Our new
right?
shirts, yes.
And we had a lot of questions yesterday. How do you get the shirts? We'll have them on the site eventually. We're getting them set up, but they will be available in the future, so don't despair. We're going to have those available. But my favorite thing about the home-based quilter is it's a place to come and share your stories and connect with people. So we want you to go onto the website. So go to our website, graceframe.com, and I'm going to show it here on the site where you're going to go so that you can connect with those other home-based quilters. So when you get to our website at graceframe.com, this is what you're going to be looking for, a place for all quilters. Now, home-based quilter is a community. It's for everybody. It's for whatever way you're getting started. So you can come down, just scroll down. You can learn more. You can talk about creating your system. You can take the quiz to find out what kind of home-based quilter you are. And then you get a prize on orders. Over $50, you'll get a coupon for free shipping. So definitely check out the home-based quilter. Come and enter your stories right here. We've got our viewer HBQ stories, so we want you to enter in so you get a chance to do all that amazing home-based quilter stuff. So, I mean, it really is a great community for everybody to share their quilting stories. Also, we want to talk a little bit about from yesterday, how do you watch again? And with that, we're going to talk about how you register for the event. So all the amazing prizes we give at the beginning of our lives and the ends, those pre-registration prizes, it's not too late. You can still pre-register for future items. So you're going to go to the website. So we're going to go here right now so you can see, how do I get there? What do I do to get pre-registered? So you're going to come to graceframe.com and you're going to come along until you see up here in the banners, the Fall Festival, and then you're going to click on Watch Now. That's going to take you to the Fall Festival site, and here's your chance to play bingo, right? We talked about this yesterday, the ability to go to the bingo and get the chance to do all the different things on there. So you have, it just kind of introduces you into the website, right? You've got your visit your dashboard, learn about the virtual quilt, and as you go along and do all of those things, your quilt show, add it to your calendar, and then the vendor hall, you get bingo, and then you get a chance to spin the wheel and win a prize. So I'm going to show you here, once you click on register, it's going to take you to this screen where you fill it in. All we need is your name and email address for that contact information. You don't have to give any other additional information. And then it brings you to this screen right here. So we're going to go through just a couple of things for you to check out. First is the event schedule. When you click on the event schedule, you get the opportunity to see what's happening each day in each of our segments. As you come down, you get a chance to just add those to your calendar, and that helps with your choosing your bingo. So you can see that section with Allie and I. We've got a bunch of HBQ stories happening. We've got with Lizzie Allen, our gold card access, borders and corners. Then Laurel and Maddie's going to do boots over heels paper piecing. So we've got each of these segments coming up today, and you can add them to your calendar. Also on this screen, you can see your giveaways. what's being given away each day. And then we also have our community quilt. This is a chance for you to submit a block and to go and be part of this amazing community quilt. As you can see, we have some wonderful quilt blocks. Allie, I know you got a chance to look through there. Is there any that are one of your specific favorites?
I have not. So I picked that Mariner Star. On the left, it's blue and red, but I have not seen that strawberry up top, and I love strawberries, so that's so cute.
That strawberry. Oh yeah, that one's adorable. I really love this horse with the tie. I think that was like a business horse. It's just cracking me up. So get a chance, go through the whole community quilt. There's still time now for you to add your block in. Again, at the very top is just submit a block. You just click right there and add in your block and resize your image. Next, we want to talk about the quilt show. There's still time for you to get into the quilt show. You have until Tuesday, October 12th by end of the day to submit your quilt. You can see the submit a quilt section right here. And here's some of the fun categories. So those are the prizes for the first, second, third, and then best of show. And then I just love these. UFO sightings. So these are unfinished products. My own kind of creative. Anything autumn, the fantastic fall quilts. Heebie-jeebies, it didn't turn out the way you expected. New tricks, new treats, and then show and tell. So these are quilts made by kids and adults have assisted. So Allie, I know you talked a little bit about those yesterday. Which was the one that you talked about of the one that you picked? You said it was that star one?
It was, yes. Can't remember the name of it now that you're asking me about it, but it was amazing. She said it took her 3 years to complete for her best friend, and it had, I think it was called Pentagram. It had a pentagram in the middle, it had all the zodiacs around the middle of the star, and then she had a galaxy kind of space-themed border. You could really tell it took a lot of time. It was really wonderful.
Oh, that's so fun. Yeah, so I mean, there's still time. Get your quilts in. Again, unfinished projects, your ones done by your kids, everybody, it's just an opportunity to get all that done. Okay, also on the site, we also have the vendor hall. Now these are people, not just the Grace Company, some of our ambassadors or anyone working with us here. You can come here and get additional discounts on things like fabric and thread and notions. But just take a moment to go through here and see all the wonderful stuff going on. It's a lot of fun to see all our partners that we've got going on with the vendor hall. We're not just only doing our prizes, but we've got other fantastic prizes as well. Now, if you had the opportunity to watch yesterday and you're still thinking, I want to rewatch, what do you do? So you come here to event schedule, and then you have this watch now. So up at the top is the event calendar, and that's for everything that's going to be live today. But the watch now is everything that was happening yesterday. So if I click on there, you can see the individual videos from yesterday, all those fantastic things, right? We had the community quilt review, that fun boots over heels paper piecing that Maddie and Laurel did, the 12 months, 12 inspirational women, that was one of my favorites. And then our access borders and corners again with Lizzie Allen, and our HBQ stories. So everything that was happening yesterday, you have the chance again to rewatch. Again, that's up here at the top where you come into event schedule and then watch now. Once you've added any of these events from your calendar over to the My Events section, they will be listed over here. So you can click on My Events and see what it is that you're going to watch again. So we've got our vendor hall. Then, of course, we have our sale. We want to make sure everybody has a chance to shop our sale. So we're going to click on that and go to our sale page. It's our spooky good deals here. And so this is where you're going to click on, here's some items that help best resonate with you, right? Like whatever it is with your quilting that you're going to want to do. And it'll jump you down right to the section that talks about that. For instance, elevating your quilting, that's our 16X series. Allie, now I know you had a chance to look at the 16X series machines. Which one did you just love so much?
I really love the 16X Elite.
Oh yeah, the 16X Elite. That
Yes.
professional stuff with that smaller machine, and
Yes.
it's just so much fun. Okay, so we just got a question from Sandra. Once you pre-register, is that for every day? Yes, that's for every day. And actually, once you pre-register, you're connected in the system, and they will connect you for the next events as well. So you'll get a contact information so that you can pre-register for all our future events as well. So back to our 16X series, we've got these on an amazing deal going on right now. So these are our brand new series, elevating your quilting from your domestic to a new mid-arm machine. We have the 16M that doesn't have a regulation on it. That's $34.99 with the frame. We have the 16X. Now that is a regulated machine. It has a touch screen and the full adjustable handles. That is $44.99 with the free Q-Zone or Cutie frame. And then finally, Allie, your favorite, the 16X Elite with the free frame, so $4,999. And I tell you guys, these deals are so stinking good. Yesterday morning, I was talking with Nathan here on the event, and we were talking about how when we were picking the specials for the upcoming festival, it was like we were trying to make him a little uncomfortable, right? We were trying to make it so that Nathan was like, whew, that's such a good deal. Are we sure we're going to do that? And I was like, yes, we're doing that special. So let's also talk a little bit about our other machines. So we've got our 19X Elite on sale with that free frame for $76.99. That is again with that Q-Zone or Cutie frame for free. And then our 21X Elite machine comes on that Continuum frame for $84.99. So, I mean, seriously, under $8,500, a professional whole system, the 21 inches, take yourself to that next level. Oh my goodness. Yes. What was your favorite thing of the other things that we have on sale right now? I know you were talking about the automation.
Yes.
So we have automation on sale for 30% off.
Yes. My favorite thing is not only is the automation on sale, all levels of automation are on sale, including the gold card.
Oh, so the gold card
yes.
is on sale. So the beginnings is 30% off, the pro is 30% off, the upgrade is 30% off, and the gold card. So if you've never had the gold card and you have the pro system, this is the chance to try it out, see if you really want it. I mean, 30% off is amazing discount. You can't miss at that right now. So now if they already have a machine and they just want to use a frame, we've got specials as well. So have you had a chance to look at those specials very much?
I have, yeah.
So first we have the Cutie frame. This one is the best price we have of the entire year.
Amazing.
Right?
$589 for the Cutie. This is an amazing deal. It's over $600 off. That's over 50%?
Yeah, over
That's
50%
amazing.
off. Now, those machine prices, those are good through the 31st, but this Cutie is only good through October 16th. So through the festival, cuts off, don't miss. If you're on the fence, you're gonna regret not buying it right now. So definitely get that Cutie frame.
Get on the website, give us a call, place your orders.
Yeah. So then the next frame we have is our Q-Zone hoop frame. That one is on special for $989. Again, a fantastic frame, perfect for your domestic if you want a little bit more room than the Cutie. It's a dedicated space, whereas the Cutie is meant to be so you don't have to have a dedicated space. So that Q-Zone hoop, that hoop style, again, any size quilt, it's so fantastic. I love that one.
Me too.
I think it's the one I have to get in my house because of my limited space. Yeah.
If I had one, it'd have to be the Cutie.
Yeah. So then we also have the Q-Zone Queen frame for sale. This one is also on special for $11.99. It does the queen size quilts, but you can also put a domestic on here if you have a large enough throat space. It has that rolling rail in the back and then the floating rail in the front, so you're gonna have that option. And then finally, I'm just floored by this price, is our Continuum frame. It's on special. It doesn't go on special very often, but it is $21.99. If you've already got your machine and you're ready to upgrade to that Continuum rolling frame, it's got the 3 rails on there, $21.99. Again, all these frame specials are on only through October 16th, so don't miss out. So I want to do a Plinko question right now. So when is the frame specials going through? What date? I mean, I did just say it, but I want to see how many people were paying attention.
Pop quiz time.
Pop quiz, yeah. So what date is the frame, all the frame specials, not the machines, but the frame specials good through? So let's see if people were paying attention. They're not coming in right now.
They were paying attention.
They were paying attention. Great job, everybody. Yes, that's correct. It is October 16th. Congratulations, Judy. We're going to do a Plinko award for you. That's right. All our frames are good through October 16th. The frame and machine combos are good through October 31st.
All right. Since I did the first one, how about you pick where I drop
Okay.
it?
I'm going to do all the way to the right.
This one?
I feel that, Judy. I feel that for you. All
Ready?
the way to the right. Yeah. Oh,
Oh no.
give it a little knock.
Knock. Okay.
No,
The rectangle
excellent.
ruler bundle.
Congratulations, Judy. This is the 3-pack rectangle ruler bundle. It's the 6.5 by 12.5 inch square or inch rulers, the 3 by 18 and the 6.5 by 24.5. It's a fantastic ruler set to get started with. So congratulations, Judy, on that. So additional sales that we want to talk about, because I want to have enough time for our next giveaway, but we also want to talk about the TrueCut is on sale for 20% off. That's all items in TrueCut. But we have 2 items that are on super special, again, through the 16th. Yes. Do you want to talk about those really quick?
Yes.
Okay.
So one is the free motion starter kit, correct?
That one's on 40% off. Yes, that one's a fantastic, yes. So that's $104.97.
Mm-hmm. And then the other one is the ruler work kit.
The ruler work kit, yeah. So now this one is great if you already have a Quilting machine, and it's going to be the ruler base, the hopping foot set, and then the 3 Leah Day rulers. That one is also 30% off. That one is good through October 31st.
I actually had someone call in about this one yesterday.
Oh, excellent. So then the other prize that I wanted to talk, or the sale that I want to talk about, is the 2 items in TrueCut that are on special.
Oh, those
So
ones.
there's the electric sharpener and the quilters combo. So those through the 16th, $48 blowout pricing just for the festival. On the 16th, that goes away. We won't have that pricing again. So don't miss out. If you've ever been thinking about using the TrueCut system, the quilters combo is perfect. It's that starter pack, the 45mm cutter, the True Grips, as well as that 6.5 by 24.5 inch ruler. And I know you got a chance recently to play around with that electric sharpener. What were some things that you liked about that?
I like that it's not battery operated. I also like that you push and hold the button. I'm a big fan of that. And I like the latch on the lid.
Yeah, so that it's set to go on there. So yeah, again, a fantastic pricing. We want everybody to make sure you don't miss out. So pay attention to those deals when you go on the site. Again, it's through the 16th for those super special deals, right? The $5.89 for the cutie and the other frames. You've got the special TrueCut pieces, and then you've also got those other pieces that are through the 31st. So don't wait, because you don't know if you're gonna accidentally not have that date in set. So again, the 16th, don't miss out. So, okay, so we have talked about, I think, everything. We just, I know what we missed. We missed talking about our theme for the Fall Festival, which is stitching our stories one block at a time, which is great for our community block, right? Our community quilt. We want to make sure that you're doing that, because that's kind of what life is, right? Putting your stitches, your pieces together one stitch at a time. So, okay, so we talked about that. And then today for our last giveaway, we're going to be doing our free motion starter kit and our Magnifique. Ooh. Now, both of these things together, so the free motion starter kit and the Magnifique can both work for either a Quilting machine or a domestic machine. The free motion starter kit comes with your fabric, both the top and the batting and the backing, 2 spools of thread, bobbins, whether you have a domestic or a Quilting machine, a long arm. I guess it's not just Quilting. I guess you can use other long arms with it. Some marking tools and tracing paper. So that's everything you need to get started on that free motion starter kit. And then also the Magnifique. Now this is one thing I know when I was talking to a dealer recently about the Magnifique. He loved it so much. He said, where has this been all my life? He's like, I need 3 of these. One for each machine that I have and one for me to just walk around with. And
walk around with.
Yeah, he's like, because I have such terrible eyesight. He's like, I'm taking this with me everywhere. And so I told him, I'm like, you can take it everywhere. It has a handle for you to put it on the machine, and then it also has a handheld handle. So you're not stuck just putting it on the machine at one time. You can also take it with you. So he was like, oh, I don't need 3. I just need 1. And then he's like, but give me 3 because I know I'm going to lose it at some point. So this is the Free Motion Quilting Starter Kit and the Magnifique. This prize is worth over, let's see here, $275. So this is a pre-registration giveaway. We want a fantastic drum roll for this person. Are we ready? Ready? And go. Drum roll! Woo! Woo! Barbara Wheeler, congratulations. So again, we have your information, so we will get you all set up for that, for your email and your address, and getting you all set for what we need to get from you to get that sent out. But again, that's that Free Motion Starter Kit as well as the Magnifique. So I think we have time for one more Plinko.
I think we do.
Yeah, okay, so do you want to have a question that we can ask our fantastic group and find out what?
Do we want like a pop quiz question or like a general question?
Oh, let's do a pop quiz question.
Okay.
Maybe something about the sales.
Oh, okay.
or-
What is the theme of Fall Festival this year?
That's a great one. And it has to be all the way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 words. There's your hint. What is the theme of this Fall Festival for this year, for 2022?
Oh, right. We have a comment that says easy question.
If it's an easy question, how come you didn't type it? Let's see. We got some coming in. Oh, we got people coming in with some close. Really close. Let's let some more come through before we pick one.
I'm seeing some
here we
correct
go.
ones. Here we go.
Some are very close, but not quite. Ooh. Oh, I like that one. That one's a good one. Okay, it is stitching our stories one block at a time.
That's
Congratulations,
correct.
Beth. You are the winner of
Plinko
prize.
Okay, we've done it here. We've done in the middle. We're going to go almost all the way to the left. The circle cutter. I love the circle cutter.
The circle cutter. So this is the 360 circle cutter. It is allowing you to cut circles in 2-inch all the way up to 12 inches. Oh my goodness, I have so much fun every time I'm demonstrating the circle cutter.
Me too. Whenever I'm at a show where someone comes in and they're like, show me your TrueCut products, I'm like, please ask about the circle cutter. Please ask about the circle cutter. I want to show you the circle cutter.
I'm going to show you how easy it is, right? You can do circles, you can do hoops, you can do half moons, you can do... I was demonstrating with this Jarek recently, and he was showing how to do like a leaf shape with the circle cutter. So he did the circle cutter, and then he did it kind of like off side of it. So then it was like these wonderful little leaf sections, and he was showing like how to do something else. I'm like, that's another thing to do with the circle cutter. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun.
You can use it for so many shapes, and it's just fun to use.
And you don't need a lot of different templates for whichever thing that you're doing. You just one circle cutter and it's set to go.
One tool, your fabric, and limitless possibilities, really.
Exactly. So Beth, for those prizes and for anybody else that did a Plinko prize today, we want you to email melinda@graceframe.com and send her your address and everything so we can get those prizes out to you, because we don't want you to wait another moment before we get those prizes so that you can start quilting them and using those fantastic tools for everything that you need. So, Allie, I don't know if you know about this next segment. It's going to be so fantastic. So throughout the Fall Festival, as we were talking about our home-based quilter, our HBQ site, and our wonderful community, we have had all these wonderful segments set up with specific stories from people. So these are some of our new ambassadors that we have in HBQ. We have Megan Groves, April Story, and Ashley Journey we're going to have our HBQ segments with them. So stay tuned. We've got that next segment. Then like I said before, we've got Lizzie with our QCT5 gold card, our Boots Over Heels paper piecing. Again, another section of the Pixel Quilts, 12 Women in 12 Months. Then we're going to be coming back live with Laurel and Carlo. We're going to have those giveaways, and we're going to talk about some more things. Next, finally, after that, we're going to be doing some other segments with Julie Slibber. It's going to be fantastic. And then we've got our community block review, and then the close of the day with our giveaways. Again, we've got a cutter combo, our master cutting, our cutie. It's going to be fantastic. So stick around all day. Don't miss out. But if you do, don't worry, you can watch us again on the Watch Now. So have a fantastic day. We'll see you later. And don't forget to sign up for our HBQ in the community section.
Hi, my name is Meg, and I am an improv chaos quilter. Is usually how I describe myself. I have been quilting for a year. It's actually my quilting anniversary right now. I started in September of 2021. And I started because I wanted a big piece of art for my living room. It was pretty bland in there, and I knew I wanted a lot of color and movement. And I thought that fabric would be a great way to soften it. And I didn't want to learn how to paint a mural. So instead of learning how to paint a mural, I learned an entirely new art form in quilting and put a lot of hours in. So it worked out. It was the right decision. Quilting is really important to me because it really connects me with a domestic art form that was often underappreciated, but really utilized. I'm in the Appalachian Mountains, and if that was happening here, there is a celebration of quilts that's around here, and I have a new appreciation for that. We have quilt trails in our area, but spending time learning about the different ways that people quilt and understanding the amount of expertise and labor and creativity that goes into being a quilter, I have learned a great deal of appreciation for my grandmothers, who both were quilters. I was taught to quilt by a community of people here, where you are, on the internet. I unfortunately did not learn how to quilt from my wonderful grandmothers because by the time I was interested in quilting, they were unfortunately gone. I missed that opportunity. I do have the chance now to go back and to look at their quilts and to see the details they put into them. And I had a great opportunity recently to go back to my Mama's art room, which was her sewing studio, and drawing and painting is everything. I found several of her unfinished quilt projects, and I'm gonna get to finish those alongside her. I'm really excited about learning with her in that way, since I lost that opportunity to learn here. I've been fortunate to be able to be a part of the local quilt guild here, and they have been incredibly supportive, answering lots of questions, and just that general like uplifting and understanding and recognizing the work that goes into something. I enjoy how much they celebrate one another. I knew I was really falling in love with quilting when I was staying up far past my bedtime and spending every nap time moment I could at my machine with my iron and watching a lot of YouTube videos to try to figure out how it was that you were supposed to quilt. And I learned a lot in a short amount of time. And I think the wonderful thing about quilting is that there is significantly more for me to learn. And I appreciate that so much. I like something that's, you're never not a learner. And I think that's really true in quilting. I'd say the thing that's helped me learn how to quilt the most is probably all of my mistakes. Those are the places that you learn things quickly and deeply and learn to not make those same mistakes again. In the coming months, I am really excited to learn how to quilt on a frame with my machine on the carousel. It feels intimidating, but I'm also really excited about it. And the amount of time and fabric wrestling I think it's going to save me. I am excited about the opportunity to be able to quilt in a new way. I have, until this point, been quilting only with a walking foot. So learning how to quilt using my free motion foot and using a frame, it's going to be a big learning curve, but I am excited to take it on. I do have a recent project I'd like to show off, and I have it sitting behind me. It's not quite done. I have to do all of the putting the ends in, but I have a big color queen size quilt here that I can't wait to finish. I'm this close to finishing. So this will be number 42, my 42nd quilt in the last year. So I am really excited to get this one done. See all those different colors. It's one that I designed and I created a pattern for myself, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the full picture of the finished product. Can't even get her all the way in the frame because she's so wonderful and big.
My quilting journey. My quilting journey started when I learned to sew, or when my mother taught me to sew, when I was probably in elementary school, probably late elementary school. And I don't even remember what we were sewing, but I do remember learning to hem. And I know how to use a sewing machine because she taught me how to use a sewing machine. And that's when it started, but I didn't realize that it started then. And then I didn't sew much other than doll clothes and doll blankets until I was pregnant with my first daughter. I had a lot of energy then, so I decided that I was going to make all of my maternity clothes, which I did. Some of them didn't look so great, but you know, my mother had taught me how to read patterns and all that, so I had a wardrobe for my maternity time. And once she was born, I didn't really do much more sewing. I did crafting kinds of things. I don't know if you remember when the sweatshirts were in, where you would cut out a part of fabric, like a focal point in fabric, and then you would adhere it to the shirt and then take the puff paint, the fabric paint, and go around it. Sometimes it was sparkly. I did that. I do remember making that for my kids and for other kids who wanted them. And I liked to take pictures, so I got into scrapbooking and kept our family memories that way. And then when my children got older, like, you know, high school, and they were doing their own thing and I wasn't really cool anymore, I started card making. And for the card making, it was more of a charity thing. So there was Operation Right Home, where you made cards and you sent them to the guys and gals who were serving overseas, and then they could use those cards to send cards home, to write home. And that went on for several years until we started kind of pulling out of different areas that we were in. So I started making cards for a charity here in town that promoted getting your colonoscopies done. So that was pretty much my card making journey. And of course I made cards for friends and family and that kind of thing. And then one year when I was getting my mother's annual gift certificate to her local quilt shop, I saw a sign posted for signing up for the Mystery Block of the Month Club. And for $35, you could make a quilt top. And as far as I know, that's pretty economical in this time, in this day and age. And you had to put your block together and have it ready for the monthly meeting in order to get your next fabric without having to pay for it. If you didn't have your block fully put together, then you had to pay to get your next set of fabric. So we started that. Mom and my mother-in-law and I would get together before our blocks were due, and Mom would show us how to make flying geese, how to do half square triangles. And, you know, she was a seasoned quilter by that time, so she had all the tricks and the shortcuts. And it was sheer misery. I hated the monthly meeting. I liked the monthly meeting because you got to see new things. I hated having to get that block done before the monthly meeting. And that was year one. I signed up for year two thinking, you know, surely I can get into this quilting thing. Year two was not any better. Honestly, I don't even remember what the blocks were for year two. I remember year three, because year three is the year that my true quilting journey began. Let me show you some of the blocks. Year three were these colors. And I was taken aback that something that I had dreaded doing became something that I was obsessed with. And it was the colors. The year one I do remember was a dusty rose and a dusty blue and a dusty gray and a cream, and they did not inspire me. But these colors inspired me. I mean, bright, fun colors, they just make me smile. And that was it. I have been obsessed with quilting ever since. I have my wall behind me, as you can see. You're probably not going to see a whole lot of dusty rose and gray. Actually, I actually do have a couple colors that kind of look like what I was quilting with when I was so miserable. But, you know, now, bright, cheery, rainbow, anything rainbow colored, that's what I live for. So, since then, I think I probably quilt more than my mother. And I drag my mother to quilt shows and little crafty events where people are showing off quilts and people are selling fabric. And we go to the Paducah quilt show. We went for the first time this year. And that's when my quilting journey began. Year 3 of the Mystery Block of the Month Club. And I don't see it slowing down. I have a YouTube channel now where I do quilting. And yeah, that was the start of it.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Ashley Journey, a new brand ambassador for the Grace Company, and I'm super stoked about this chapter in my life. I started quilting about 8 years ago on a domestic machine, and I got my first Grace machine almost 5 years ago. I fell in love with free motion quilting, and everything took off from there. I was an artist before I was a quilter, so I get to bring a lot of my art background into the custom work and the art quilting that I do now. I also quilt for people all over the country, and I compete internationally. So there's a good chance if you go to one of the large shows, you'll get to see some of my stuff. I actually won second place at AQS Quilt Week in Daytona Beach, Florida in 2020. So yeah, I can't wait to see what comes next.
Ambassador and I'm a HBQ, a home-based quilter. Thank you for joining me today. I have got this lovely quilt on my frame and I'm going to show you some of the features of gold in QCT5 software. So thank you for joining me and we'll get on and I'll show you how easy it is to do fabulous borders within gold. We're in the home screen of our software, and to get this started I need to select our gold features icon. So let's go ahead and select that. Today we'll be playing with the borders and corners, so let's go ahead and select that icon. Now our software's opened up in the home screen of borders and corners. The first thing you'll see is this is highlighted, so this is border 1 style and placement. This is where we need to tell the software what we're doing. So it defaults to mitered corner. What we'd like to do is we'd like to pick this one. So when I select it, you'll see that it's active because it's blue and my screen changed and I now have these grey references. So I'm really happy. The most important thing that we need to do is before we go any further is we actually have to place it, give the software parameters to be able to place the designs. And that's what we use these pink icons for. So I'm going to gently move my machine down to the left and we'll start setting our design. Alright, so I gently move the machine down to the left hand side and I need to make sure that my hobbing foot and needle is right at the point of the top left of the quilt where I want to place this border, and you'll see that the screen moved. Then what I'm going to do is come in and I'm going to do the corresponding inner left border point. And then come down and do the bottom left outer, then the inner left outer. Okay, then I'll go down and do my right hand side. So move the machine down to the right hand, and once again I've got my hobbing foot and my needle lined up with the top right hand outer point, and I select the corresponding pink dot. Then the inner right corresponding pink dot, right hand bottom, and I just make sure that my needle is exactly where I want it to be. Great, now this is where the fun begins. I'm now going to go down using the blue arrow key and I'm going to set some margins. Now I've got both here. I'm going to show you, this is a great little feature. If I unlock, I get the outer and the inner, because sometimes I might like to set the outer at say 0.5 because it's the top of a quilt and I want a 1/4 inch for binding and 1/4 inch before my quilting design. But for today, I'm going to set this at 0.25 and the inner to be the same. If I hadn't unlocked it, it would do both margins. You'll also see on my screen, I now have these grey lines, and that's setting the pattern and the design within the parameters I just set. Let's have some fun. Let's hit number 3. Just use your blue arrow keys, and then we're going to select our first design. Let's go and select our corner. Now, I'm going to use a pre-purchased design. If I was using the inbuilt gold, I'd go here. But you'll see that I'm actually in my new drive D and it's actually opened for me, and I'll be doing the corner, which will be this one. I tap it, it's blue, it's active, and I select open. Now I'm going to select yes. So I would like to remove, do I want to remove all? Yes, I do. There's no jumps, and I'm going to select OK. And of course the software now wants me to save that, so I'll just tap here and give it a name. Sophia. Close and save. Enter, save. And the pattern is there now for me to use at any other time. And I'm just going to wait patiently for it to load the design. Woohoo! Now, let's do this area here. Now, if I go ahead and select center, I'm only going to get a design here in the center. We want to fill this space. So it's important that I go ahead and select fill border. And there's my Sophia, and I believe it is border number 2, and let's select open. And I'll just select Jess to be on the safe side. That's all good. Okay. And I'm just going to type Sophia. And I'll just put B for border. Enter and save. Now you can see, I'll just zoom this up a bit for us so that we can see this nice and big. I always like to do this. I like to check by just moving along and zooming. I can see how my design is placed. So if it was crossing over at any point, I would simply select this autofill, I would uncheck it, and then this is where I'd be able to use the plus and minus keys to alter the design. But honestly, I couldn't be happier with how that design has actually placed. So let's hit the fit so we can see it back on our screen more clearly. Now you will see under get patterns I have flip patterns. Now some of the patterns, when we go to place them on the bottom border or the sides, we might need to flip or rotate those. I will show you how to do those when we get down to the bottom border. And I can also go down to number 5, which is edit the connections. So this would remove the jumps. I don't know how this will play out, so I'm quite happy to leave that where it is, and I'm just going to literally go back to border. I'm very pleased, so let's go ahead and select sew all. Now, it's in here, and I'm just going to quickly save it. It's always easier to save because life happens, and I'm just going to call that my top border. I'll put a space. And save it. Just because life happens, I could be halfway doing something and power, people turn up. So now I'm ready to go down to my left-hand side because green tells me that's my start point and red tells me that that's my stop. I do have 2 jumps there, but I'm happy to stop and bury those threads. Okay, so I've moved down the left-hand side, and I hate the pull bobbin function, so I like to just use the toolbox. I select move to start. Now my machine is going to move to the start point of the design. And then I'll do toolbox, and I'll literally do a single stitch to bring up that bobbin thread. And when I like to hold them and then select sew when I'm ready. Now that our top border has completed stitching, I've rolled on the quilt and I'm ready to set up the bottom part of our border. This is really quite easy. So we're back at our home screen for borders and corners. What I need to do is select this icon here, and when I select it, it comes up with bottom, and we get this warning: you must replace the border corner points. So that means we need to use each of these pink dots and register the parameters again. So I'm going to go ahead and select OK. It's really very easy from this point because I don't need to go to margins or get patterns or even flip the design because the software is quite clever. It's already flipped it for us. So let's go ahead and start placing that border. So once again, I'm going to start at the bottom left. So this bottom left corner, I'm going to move my foot and make sure my needle aligns with that point in the position and select the corresponding pink dot. Then I'm going to come in and do the inner left bottom, select the corresponding pink dot, move up as far as I can go, select, come across and do the left outer. And now I'm ready to go down to the right hand side. So once again, I'm going to start on the outer of the bottom right corner, line up my foot and my needle, select the corresponding pink, do the inner, go up and do the upper inner on the right, gently move the machine across, and as you can see, I'm really happy at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and select sew all. My machine is connecting. Okay, so the design is ready to sew, and once again I'm not going to optimize the design like I did for the top border. I will just finish those and bury the threads. Now what I want to do is I want to show you another fabulous feature within the Gold software. So it's from our plugins menu, drop down, it's called Fabric Compensation. Now this will take a moment to load. The fabric compensation allows us to mark all the seams in the border and adjust the pattern to accurately fit our quilt top, simply by slowly moving the machine across the quilt top surface and marking the seams. So, okay, so this is the fabric comp screen, and you'll notice that we have this dark green line. So that's denoting that we're going to start with this bottom border of the quilt top surface. Then, what we do is as we move the machine and the needle across the surface, we will use this plus icon to anchor each position. So let's get started. Hopping foot and needle, so I just make sure it's where I want it all lined up on the quilt top surface, and like I said, I tap the plus sign and you'll see I have a little node there denoting that it's been anchored to that point. And I just move across slowly and gently, placing as little or as many as you would like. And this just allows me to sew this border with absolute confidence, making sure that I'm not going to be stitching on the border. Then what I'm going to do is when I come back, because I've done the bottom, I'm going to select next, and you'll see that it's told me it wants to do the outer right. So once again I will move my machine to where I feel comfortable, lined up needle and foot, and select the green plus and go up the side, select next. It's now doing the inner right border for me. It takes a couple of minutes to do this extra step and it's wonderful. I'm going to hit next. Now I'm going to do the top, the bottom border, and it just means I don't have to trace. It gives me the confidence, and it beautifully adjusts the pattern. And I hit next, do the inner left border, next, And now that I'm happy, I will just go ahead and select OK. It will be doing those adjustments for me. And it's great. Green is go, red is stop. I'll move my machine down to the left-hand side and I will start stitching. Okay, we've mastered the top and bottom border. Now what we'd like to do is we would like to stitch between the border corners. So I've gone ahead and I've rotated the quilt ready for us to start. So the first thing we're going to do is tap the border style. So we've got the border style. Now we're going to make sure that our corner is the same as our top and bottom was. Now we're actually going to go and we're going to tap this lock verticals. And when I see the green tick, I now know that it is active. I'm going to make sure that I have top also selected because naturally the last one I did was bottom. Now what we're going to do is we're going to register the parameters exactly as we did previously for the top and bottom border. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so gently move your machine down to the left and once again, matching my needle and my hobbing foot to the top left corner, I'm going to select the pink corresponding dot. Move into the inner left. Once again, tap the corresponding pink dot. Okay, so now let's do the right hand. So it's the right hand outer top, corresponding pink, right hand inner, and then of course I will do the bottom right, inner, and the bottom left outer. Then I'm going to go and select margins, and with the margins what I'm going to do is going to make sure that they're the same parameter that I previously selected. So let's go ahead, 0.250, inner 0. So I'm very happy. Now this is where we're going to tell the software what we're doing. So I'm going to select a custom border area. Now what we're going to do is set the left edge and the right edge. We have to set this parameter manually to tell the machine where we last finished stitching and where we're going to line up our quilting designs. So I'm going to head down to the left hand side first. So we're ready to go. I've moved my machine down. Now I've been clever and I've marked myself a little blue spot with my blue water soluble pen, and that's the left edge where I want my stitching to start stitching. So let's go ahead and select the left edge, and you'll see how the screen changes and I get this fabulous green line showing me where I'm going to match my design. Let's go ahead and mark the right hand border. So once again I've got a little blue water soluble mark that I marked with my pen, just makes it easier for me to see. So now I'm just going to travel up from there and I'm going to go ahead and select the right edge. You'll now see on our screen we have a green, which is our left, and red, which is our right. So green is where our pattern will start, red is where our pattern will stop. Let's go ahead and get some patterns. So let's arrow down using the blue keys to 3, get patterns. We're going to select border and we're going to use our Sophia B, which was the original border pattern, selected it, and let's hit open. And you'll see that it filled beautifully. Okay, congratulations, you've done your top border and your bottom border. So let's go ahead and do our sides, and I'm going to show you how easy this is. So I've gone and opened my gold software, selected the border and corners. Make sure you're on border style 1 placement. Next thing what we need to do is we need to match our corners to what we did on the top and bottom. So let's go ahead and select corner. Now don't be discouraged when I say we have to go and place it. We've got to set the parameters, and we will be setting them exactly the same as we did for the top and bottom. So let's gently move our machine down to the left. Alright, so let's start. Moving our hobbing foot and needle to the top left corner, we select the pink dot to register, left, inner border, select, come down. We're just setting the parameters and setting the pink corresponding dot. Let's go down to our right hand border. Once again, make sure that the top right outer, select the corresponding pink dot, inner right pink, then the outer bottom pink, inner bottom pink. So that's great. Now, top is selected. Let's make sure we've got vertical lock selected. Then just coming down to our margins, we're going to set them exactly the same as we did for our top and bottom. And we know it's the same for both, so let's just go ahead and select both. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have to set some margins. These margins are to tell it to sew between here and here where the existing quilting is already. So we're going to start with our left edge. I've gently moved the machine down to the left. Now this is where my quilting has finished. I've marked it with a blue water soluble pen just to make it a little easy visually for me to see. So coming down to my blue dot, I'm going to come up, and this is where it's important, girls. We need to select this left edge icon. And you'll note on our screen, we suddenly get a green line indicating where I want the design to stop. Now we need to move down to our right and replicate it. Once again, I popped another blue water soluble dot. Now I'm just going to move up and I'm going to make sure I select the right edge. And you'll see we've got a lovely red line. So what we're now going to do is try and place our pattern between these two markers. So let's go ahead and scroll down to get patterns. We won't be worrying about corners this time, only border. And of course, we do know that it was Sophia, B for border, that we used. Select and open. And you can see that it is actually opened. We are literally ready to go ahead and sew this design. Now we do know that it would sew on the left and it's going to finish on the right. So let's go ahead and select all. Now we're at the home screen of sewing. Now this is where the fun begins. Like before, I'm going to show you how we're going to make sure that that's just perfect. Let's go to plugins and let's select fabric comp. Now this is so good. If I've rotated the quilt and I'm a little bit off, this will allow me to set this correctly. So once again, by moving my machine across the quilt top seam edge and hitting the plus icon, I will be registering little nodes and the pattern will perfectly adjust. So let's start on the left hand side. I've moved the machine down to the left. I've popped my needle on the seam line and now I just select that little plus and you'll see I have a lovely little node that came up to tell me that it was placed, and if it needed to make an adjustment, that's where it will occur. I'll move about 10 inches. You can put as many or as few as you like. Go ahead and place another one, and now I'll place my last one. So in all, I probably did 4 markings across the top of that seam line. It didn't move a lot, but enough for me to know that I'm really happy with what I'm doing. Now, to be able to do the bottom inner, all I will do is select next, and you'll see that it came up with the outer. I don't need to do the outer right, so just simply toggle. It's now doing the inner right, and I'm finally at the bottom seam. Now it's okay that I'm now going to move from right to left as long as I continue travelling the same direction in the path. So I'm going to go ahead and add my first node, and I'll really only need to add 4. And it means that it will sew inside the margins that I set and the design will be fabulous. Now that I'm really happy with the overall design, I'm not going to bother to set any parameters here because naturally we're not sewing anywhere. So I can actually just go ahead and hit the OK. One thing that I will remind you, if I place a node by hitting the cross and I don't like it, I can always undo. And of course these functions here will actually remove several or all. So just remember, you do have that ability to, if you've made a mistake, just to go back and undo. Now let's go ahead and select OK. Now we're ready to start. I'm just going to move my machine to where I think it will start. I like to do toolbox, move to start point, and then I'm just going to do toolbox, single stitch, bring up my bobbin thread, and I'm happy to stitch out that design. So, well, as you can see on our screen, our design is finished. When I look down at the quilt, it's fabulous. All the designs lined up to our corners. So let's go ahead and select finished back to placement. We're back at our main screen, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to border placement. So I'm going to arrow up to number 1. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select bottom. And you see that it said warning, you must replace the border corners on the fabric now that you have changed the edges. Do not assume that the border lines now shown are properly in place. So I select OK, make sure I'm on bottom, verticals are locked, corner, everything's fantastic. This is what's so wonderful about the software. It automatically mirror image the design ready for me to go. So I don't have to get patterns. I'm ready to literally roll on and advance the quilt to the last bottom section that needs to be stitched. Okay, so once again, I'm going to start at the bottom left outer corner. I'm going to make sure my hobbing foot and needle are in position. Press the corresponding pink dot. Do the inner left and I'm just simply registering it. And what that was is the software just told me it preferred me to do the outer before I do the inner. Okay, let's do the right hand side, starting with the bottom, moving my hobbing foot and the needle down using the corresponding pink dot. Inner right. Now I'm not going to make the same mistake as I did before. It's the outer right first and then the inner right. Now this is where it's really important. When I go, I'm going to arrow down to set margins. Although I have the red and green there, I really do need to make sure that I come back and I set those margins again, because those were the margins that I set for the top part of this border. So I will go ahead and do the right. And you see the pattern did adjust, so it really was important. Now I will place the left outer margin. And let's select. Now I know with confidence that it's going to stitch within those margins and not stitch over my corner designs. So once again, sew all. And of course I'm going to go back up to plugins and select my fabric comp. Now it's come up with the dark green, so I'm going to start here at the bottom. So naturally I'm going to move my foot and my needle to the bottom edge and move in. And when I'm happy, I'll place the first and do a slight adjustment, and I'll continue traveling across the seam until all the nodes are set. Now I'm just I've done the bottom, so I'm going to hit next. And of course we're doing the outer borders, which are irrelevant. So I'm just going to toggle until I'm happy. I'm now at the top inside. So move my machine, start setting and lining up each of those points. And you can see it actually did a really good adjustment there. And that's because when I turn a quilt, it might not be absolutely perfect. Now I'm really happy, so I'll go ahead and select OK. I'm here, green is start, red is stop. So I will go down and I will stitch from the left hand side. Okay, so we're at the end and I'm really happy with everything. The border's stitched out perfectly. I want to take the time to say, remember you can download the instructions, print them, and step by step you can easily achieve perfect quilt borders. So here we have it. It's all finished and I just wanted to show you how beautifully it all lined up using the fabric compensation and how pretty the quilting looks. So thank you for watching and we'll see you soon.
Welcome, I'm Laurel Erznosnik. I'm an account executive here at the Grace Company, and with me we have...
I'm Maddie, or Madison, you can call me either. I work in the education department.
Why don't you go ahead and share with us a little bit about what we have on our table and kind of what our audience can look forward to today.
Yes, so I am so excited for this project. I have worked on this project for at least like 2 months, just planning, designing, everything. So I'm so excited to show you. So honestly, all we need is our materials, which is our nice sewing machine, whichever one you have and love, and then our TrueCut travel kit. This has been my favorite thing. I've held it to my side for the past 2 months as I've decided what to do. And let's just dive in. Let's go through what it is. Oh, also, the project is paper piecing. Since our last event, I have realized I need to simplify it more, and I have created new projects and new ways to do it. So let's open this.
So Maddie, what is this that you're opening right here?
So this is our TrueCut travel kit. It is absolutely amazing and it's perfect for any size of quilting that you're doing. Honestly, for piecing, I just liked it because it was nice to have right next to my sewing machine. What's in it is it comes with our favorite little cutting mat, and it's so cute. It's little and it's perfect to fit into any size right next to your sewing machine. Then we have our little ruler, which is also perfect just to have near you at all times. I use it for quilting and for piecing and anytime I need to cut. And then also what comes in it. So it also comes with our scissors and our 28mm cutter. We also have our fun prizes that are here. We have some marking pencils. We also have our magnetic pin holder, a seam ripper, and we have our pencil sharpener. I've customized this to fit me, and I've added some needles in here in case I need to bind or anything like that for my project. And I've also added my favorite 45mm cutter. It is our comfort cutter. It's awesome. It works for anything.
So Maddie, let's really quickly, maybe if we have a moment, would you tell me what's maybe the difference between the comfort cutter and the straight cutter, and maybe why you tend to like the 45 maybe versus the 28?
Yeah, for sure. With this project, there comes a lot of cutting. You have to use a lot of brain power as well, but my wrist usually gets super tight, and I feel like if I have my straight cutter, I need to push so hard for it, and I start getting cramps. I feel like I'm 107, but so I love my comfort cutter. It helps with that, and I have like big clunky hands, so I feel like it
bigger size helps you a bit more.
It fits me more. So I've put that. Let's just hop right into the project.
And so remind me again one more time a little bit. You said this is paper piecing, and then you said previously we had done a segment and that you found you just wanted to simplify that, right?
Yes. So our paper piecing, we're gonna start out with this design.
It seems super simple, and it's perfect because you could piece this and not have to use paper piecing. So I wanted to show you how to use it with paper piecing. So I'm gonna move this. And first thing that we need, I've already cut my pieces of fabric, but we are gonna need pieces of fabric that are bigger than the piece of paper that we're working with.
And why is that?
So we have enough room when we fold the fabric over.
Okay.
It might be a little confusing now, but I promise you it'll look so cute in the end.
And so then tell me, how are you choosing the different fabric colors to use? Like, how do you know you want that one there, this one there, and then that one?
I do all the planning before I start the project. Okay. And what I figured out is naming each piece of fabric. So on this, we have 1, 2, and 3. So beforehand, I make sure that our first fabric I always pick, and then we have our second fabric, and we have our third fabric. I'm so excited about these colors because they remind me of just fall, and fall is my favorite season.
Yeah, I love fall, cozy, warm.
What do you love about fall?
Honestly, everything. My birthday happens to fall during that time, so I like to use that as an excuse to do a bit more celebration. And then I honestly just love the colors of it, and then that feeling of being able to cozy up with a sweater, you know, by a fire or whatever. I love that. So
awesome. That's me. My birthday's also in fall, so
look at that.
I do love my birthday, gotta say. I'm gonna open our 50 pins.
And so tell me too, because I know you talked about you really love fall, and then I know with this design, we'll get to a bit later, but you actually did a bit of a boot design. So can you share with me maybe kind of why you wanted to do that design with it?
Yes, I love my boots, my cowboy boots. They are probably my favorite piece of clothing, if you could consider it clothing. And I wear it for everything. I got it for my 18th birthday, got them. And I just wear them all the time now. So I'm a cowgirl at heart. It's my favorite thing. All right, so we're gonna start with paper piecing. The side that has the lines and it's printed and it has the numbers, that side is always gonna be against the wrong side of the fabric. So we're gonna place it, and we're gonna make sure that it's placed nice, and we are gonna pin it in place. I make sure that when I pin it, I'm always gonna pin right in the middle, so on these lines, I know I'm not sewing on them. So let's hurry and do that. I put one pin down, and I usually try and put another pin towards the top. All right, so I'm gonna finish pinning. Perfect. So now that we have it pinned, and I turn it on the back side, you can tell that the wrong side of the fabric is also when it faces us. Okay. So now we have to place our second piece of fabric. Our second piece of fabric, the best part about this is you just place it right on top.
And then it looks like you're putting, is it so the correct sides of the fabric together?
Yes. Okay. So you'll put right sides together from now on. So this is how we see it. We're gonna pin the same way again. And when I pin, I try and make sure that I don't make any bumps in the paper and try to keep it as flat as I can.
And then it looks like, do you typically, when adding the next layer of fabric, try to just pin similarly or close to where you originally had pinned?
Yeah, I try and make sure that that's always stable, just so that when the first piece of fabric moves, the second one will also. Okay, we're gonna take it to our lovely sewing machine, and we are just gonna sew along the black lines that are already put into place.
And so then when you go to start actually sewing, do you sew on both the lines that are there or just one?
So you're actually just gonna sew on one of the lines. Since I want the fabric to be in the number 2 spot, I'm gonna sew along this black line next to the number 2. So let's start. Let's make sure that we have pulled our bobbin, we can set the needle down, and we are ready to go. So we're gonna sew along right on this black line, as close as you can. Awesome.
And so then I do have a question, Maddie. So when you go in and you start to actually sew, do you just sew to where the black line ends, or do you tend to follow and go off of it?
That's a good question. I tend to follow and go off of it.
Okay.
That's just personal preference. I find that it stays better in that way. Okay, this is where it can get a little tricky. So we're gonna take it and we're gonna face the paper up towards us. We're gonna fold our number 2 spot back. And we're gonna take our handy dandy little ruler, and I'm using the My Comfort cutter, but you can use either, does not specify. And we're gonna cut 1/4 of an inch off the inseam. Awesome. Okay, we're gonna fold this back over. And this is when I would take my iron and I'd take out my pins. I'm gonna put them right back on our magnetic strip, and we fold this piece of paper over.
And so then really quickly, Maddie, would you mind be able to just show me the other side? Because it looks like you didn't remove all the pins, just 2 of them.
Yes, so I removed, this is why we pin it twice, is so that we can keep this, the first piece that's gonna be in this first block. We're gonna keep it staying in place because we have to sew on the other side as well. But we just removed the pins that held this fabric down.
So the number 2 fabric are the pins you removed?
Yes. I'm just so grateful Laurel's on here. She asks the best questions and keeps me in check. Perfect. So we're gonna fold it over, and then this is where I'd take my iron and I would iron right along the seam. But since I do not have that, then we're perfectly good. And that is your first piece. Now we're gonna take our second piece of fabric, which is our number 3 fabric, and we are gonna do the same thing. We're gonna put right sides together, and we're gonna pin it, and we're gonna flip it over and pin it in place. Perfect. Okay, now we have our pins are in place. We're gonna sew across this line right here for the 3 on the black line. Take it to our sewing machine, put our needle down, awesome. So I had my threads a little tied up a little bit, but it's okay. It's sewed correctly. I'm gonna cut off our excess string. And now we're going to repeat the process. So we're gonna take our piece of paper and we're gonna fold it down. So I'm gonna show you on here. Fold down right here, make sure that's creased. And we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna take our ruler, cut 1/4 of an inch off from the seam, take our comfort cutter, cut right through. Awesome. And now we're gonna take our pins out, and we can take all of the pins out now. Since both sides are done, we're gonna put them on our magnet. And we're gonna fold this over. And I would take my iron now, and I would make sure that these seams are put down, and voila. This is now your paper pieced first block, and we're gonna take it and we're gonna cut 1/4 of an inch off from the sides. So you're gonna come here, turn it, we're gonna go right along.
So the 1/4 inch, is that just kind of what you've chosen to do, and people can do slightly wider on that, or?
So for specific blocks, I think it's a necessity because that's how we sew, is we sew 1/4 of an inch inseam, and that's why we cut all our fabric more, and we just make sure that we have that. It's needed for my boot piecing that we're gonna do, because that is how all the pieces are gonna fit together. Okay. And we are all finished. So we have our paper on the back still. We have our 1, and that's gonna be this fabric.
Then we have our 2 right here, and that's that white fabric. And then our number 3 is this brown fabric.
And then again, that was something that originally when you were looking at doing the design of the quilt, those are the fabrics you had laid out, right?
Yes. Okay, so now that we've finished, I'm gonna show you the first part of my boot piecing. This is filmed at home, so don't judge me for the quality, and I hope you enjoy.
Hey everyone, I'm gonna show you how to piece this first piece. So first, flip this over, and I'm gonna put wrong sides together. So as you can see, and this covers my entire piece right here. That's gonna be the top of the boot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna pin it. I'm gonna pin it there, and we're gonna pin it up top just to make sure that it stays right in place. Awesome. Okay, I think I did a pretty good job on that. Let's look. Pretty flat, perfect. We're actually gonna piece this top part here first. So, I'm gonna take my piece. I'm gonna lay it down like this just so I can know that I've gotten it enough. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna pin it down. So I gotta make sure that it's right. Okay, I'm gonna pin it. I'm gonna place one pin right about here so that it will stay like that. And then I'm gonna place another pin above, or maybe off to the side a little bit, just to make sure that it won't move while I'm sewing. Okay, now off to the sewing machine. Good. Okay, so here's our line on the back. Doesn't really make sense, but as soon as you flip it over, we have that perfect line right on that red line that I have designed. And so I would consider that pretty good. So now I'm gonna take my pins out that I've placed for the white piece of fabric, and I'm gonna fold this over. And now I'm gonna take my handy dandy comfort cutter and my perfect sized ruler, and we are gonna measure 1/4 of an inch, and we just cut that right away. Now we're just gonna trim on this side just a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna fold that back over, and then we can fold this piece over. And I suggest getting an iron, but for time's sake, I'm not gonna do that, and I'm just gonna finger press it. We're gonna finger press it right across that seam, and your first piece is done. Now we're gonna grab our next pieces. And these pieces are gonna go right here and right here. So I am gonna see, perfect, measures enough. We're gonna pin this in place. I'm gonna pin one above and one below just to make sure it holds in place. And off to the sewing machine. I think it looks good to me, so I'm gonna flip it over, take out my pins. I'm gonna measure 1/4 of an inch. Take this piece off, fold this back over, fold this over, and we're gonna finger press it one more time. And second piece complete. So let's go on to our next piece, which we're gonna piece this piece. We're gonna take this. I would iron down your pieces, but I have not had time to do that. I have been super busy lately, but I'm excited that I have time to do this right now. So I'm gonna place one right below. We're gonna see, we're gonna go right here. We're gonna place it right above. We're gonna make sure that we have all our pieces placed and that they look right together. Awesome. Okay. See this line? Flip it over. Ooh, that's a little messy, but we can just trim that off when I get a minute. So we're gonna take out our pins. This is gonna look so good. which I'm really excited about. I wish I used this fabric on my quilts. Okay, finger press it down. Oh, we're getting so close to finishing this first piece. Now on for our bigger sections. I'm gonna flip this back over. I'm gonna make sure that these are big enough. Awesome, perfect. With my eye, I'm just gonna eyeball it. Okay, I think that should be a pretty good placement right there. So I'm gonna take one, since this is a bigger piece, I'm gonna place more pins than for the smaller pieces, just to make sure that it stays in place. I'm gonna pin another one up here, and I'm gonna pin on this side a little bit. Maybe not, because I placed that pretty well, but I'm gonna place it just a little bit. See if my sewing machine, yeah, that should be pretty good. Okay, so I'm gonna start down here, and I am gonna sew this piece. Okay, so I take out my pins. That looks pretty good to me. I'm gonna fold this piece over. I'm gonna grab my little ruler and I'm gonna slice away. Fold the piece back over. And, oh, I forgot to take out one pin. Boom. Okay, fold it over. Awesome. Finger press it down or iron it down. Awesome. So now we've got this. Let's do our last and final piece for our top part of the boot. I'm gonna pin one right there. Let's go one down here. And then let's pin one. Let's place it right here where that edge is. Okay, take it to your sewing machine. Gonna fold it over, measure 1/4 of an inch. And I'm gonna take my comfort cutter and I'm gonna, oh, I should have really changed my blade before this, but I did not, so we're just gonna go with it. Awesome. Okay, first, take out the pins. And you can finally take out your 2 brown or whatever color you chose for your base pins, since all parts are now sewn upon it. Awesome, finger press it. Look how pretty that looks. I'm actually very proud of this for how fast I'm doing it. This is the last part that you definitely need to do. You're gonna take it on the back and you are gonna cut 1/4 of an inch around the paper. This is so when you connect your pieces, it actually lines up pretty perfectly. And there definitely are gonna be some times where it doesn't line up, but most times you can't notice. When I first started out, I definitely did have a lot of mess ups and you could definitely notice, but the more you practice, the better you get. And since this is like my 30th boot that I've done, I feel pretty confident in saying that I have gotten a lot of practice in, and so I think that I have actually done pretty well with how this has gone. Okay, flip it over to see the final piece, and ta-da.
So now that we are finished showing you how to, I have jumped forward to all of the pieces finished, and now I'm going to show you how to put them all together. So this is why it was really important, and I'm grateful for Laurel's question on the 1/4 of an inch inseam. So because I have cut all of these to a 1/4 of an inch around it, now when I piece it together, it's gonna be right on line. So first things first.
And so then in doing this, Maddie, I noticed there's a couple different pieces here. So how do you decide usually what piece to maybe stitch together first?
So what you're gonna need is you're gonna have to do the top part and the bottom part separately.
Okay.
So this piece is gonna need to be
pieced first, and then these ones are gonna be pieced together, and then both of them are gonna be pieced.
And is that with this design, or would you say kind of universally throughout paper piecing?
Depending on how difficult the design is, you would need different pieces to put together. Some are just simple blocks where you don't need to do that, and some are complicated like mine, and you have 5. So this design I actually created just trying to figure out my next quilt and what I wanted to do. And I thought after my paper piecing a butterfly, I really wanted to try and do something else with paper piecing and try and make it sound better so that other people could do it too.
Yeah, and so then a couple things, Maddie, before you go ahead and stitch. I noticed when you do it, this time it looks like you didn't pin the 2 pieces together. Usually when you're at this point, do you not pin those pieces because you kind of already have those 1/4 inch seams laid out, or?
It's totally personal preference. I have done this design about 15, 20 times in the past 2 months, so I feel a little more comfortable not pinning it. But for your first time, I strongly suggest, and also if you want a cleaner and nicer look, then really pin it.
Okay, and then I also noticed, and you did this in that previous paper piecing block that you were showing us, but you usually drop the needle. Do you do that all the time to help giving you a starting point and to make sure the fabric is lined up, or? For me, on my home machine, if I don't do it, once I start sewing, my thread comes, like it unthreads itself. Gotcha.
So I do it out of habit, but I do think that you are supposed to, but if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. Okay, we're gonna start.
And you know, Maddie, while you're doing that, I think that you brought up a really good point, is how long have you been quilting for? Because I think really before you started the Grace Company, you hadn't really ever done it before.
So I used to take sewing lessons from one of my sister's neighbors as a kid, and I loved it. I thought it was so fun. But now working here, I've actually started to use those skills, and I've never quilted before. And actually when I got the job, I didn't even know this was a quilting place, but I now love it, and I think it's one of the best hobbies to have. It's super fulfilling, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're gonna pin our next 2 pieces together.
And so this was for the bottom of the
This is for the bottom, correct.
Okay. And so then, even again, I guess kind of going back to Roger's question is, does it matter what order you were to do or stitch the bottom together in, or really now you're just doing that bottom portion?
So it doesn't matter, just as long as they go, the pieces fit together.
Okay.
So as I'm sewing, I'm trying my hardest and best to sew right along the paper line. So I'm not going on the paper, but I'm just sewing right along it so that my 1/4 of an inch, I know for sure it's a 1/4 of an inch inseam. So as I unfold it, look how perfectly those 2 pieces fit together. Now our last bit, we're gonna take our last piece, we're gonna line it up, same thing, and we are going to go ahead and sew it.
Okay, and I do have a question, Maddie, because I think paper piecing is something I've always thought was interesting, but then I always thought that maybe it was a bit more complicated.
Yeah.
But I wonder, have you ever had a chance or had a time where you maybe, you know, like coming to this part, stitched it together wrong? And I'm curious for you guys watching as well, maybe put a 1 in the chat if you've ever done that. But Maddie, have you ever stitched the pieces together wrong?
Yes, like a billion times. I actually was doing this earlier today, and I actually did mess up. And one of my pieces wasn't flat, and so I had this big lump, and I was running out of time, and so I asked one of my good friends at work, Anna, if she could unpick it for me real quick while I was doing it. It was so funny. It was like, this is like my 40th boot, I would say, and I still mess up. This takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, and I wish I could show you the whole process of doing this, but I can't, so that's why I'm trying to show you the best pieces.
And so, Maddie, I know, you know, we kind of talked about that sometimes you may have stitched them together wrong, and I'm sure a lot of you watching have done the same thing. But do you maybe have any tips or tricks, or maybe any of you watching, do you have any tips or tricks on how to kind of avoid that? I know, Maddie, originally you'd mentioned you can pin the pieces. Have you found anything else that's helped you in that process?
Just taking my time, not rushing. When I take my time, I think through it more evenly, and I'm able to
make better decisions also, which is nice. Go. Okay, now we're gonna unfold it, and here is your boot masterpiece. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take all the pieces of paper off by just folding along the seam, and you just rip it. And it should rip quite nicely, just like this. Okay, so now that's over. This design that I'm going to put for everyone is gonna be a 12" by 12" design. And now that this is done, I'm so excited to show you my final project. Here is my final project. I worked so hard on it and I'm so happy with how it turned out.
It's adorable. So I do have to ask you again. So I know part of it is the country kind of style, but again, did you just kind of go to the store and find the fabric, or did you already have the fabric when you kind of did the design?
When I did the design, I knew I wanted a different fabric for each boot.
Okay.
And I just was able to find different light fabric and then find a dark for the heel. And then I found this cute bandana fabric, and I just had to have it. I didn't even buy it for this project. I've had it forever and I knew I was gonna use it for something. And so I bought it, and now I have a use for it.
Thank you everyone for joining us. That was wonderful to be able to see that piece quilted. And just thank you again everyone for joining us and for being a part of this paper piecing journey with us.
Hi, I'm Dee, also known as Pixel Quilt on social media, and I'm here to give you a rundown on my project, which is 12 months of 12 inspirational women that I've trying to make one quilt a month of a woman that has inspired me, and then I gift that quilt to them. The very first woman I chose for January was a lady called Ashley Longshore, and she is an artist. The quilt I made is 96 inches by 72 inches and has just under 2,500 pieces in 10 different colours. She's known as the modern day Andy Warhol, and her art is just vibrant, bright and beautiful. She seems to be one of these unique people that not only has the ability to produce her own beautiful works of art, also inspire others to do exactly the same. And that's exactly what I did. So I created the quilt of her, and then I was able to send it to her, and she wrote back to me and she loves it. She absolutely loves it. February is a lady called Laura Balbin, who I know she's not terribly well known over here. She's on social media under the name of Knee Deep in Life. So her quilt was just over 2,000 pieces. It was 72 by 96 inches again, and had 9 colours in it. Laura is just real and funny and honest. And as someone who has struggled with depression, the way she faces depression and talks about her struggles, I found really inspiring. The other thing she does is she's hilarious, and she just kind of demonstrates reality versus the picture perfect life which we often see on Instagram. So yes, she was February. Again, I sent her the quilt and got a lovely thank you back. So that's Laura. March is a face that I'm sure many of you recognise. March is Brene Brown. She is made up of 2,700 pieces and is also 72 by 96. She has 10 different colours in her, but I went with a more muted and brown toned palette for her. Her first TEDx talk, I think, was about 12 years ago, which really kind of exploded her onto the scene. Really impacted me. And so I've always followed and read everything she's ever put out. And she's just given me a deeper level of insight, I think, into myself. I packaged the quilt up and managed to get it to her, and I'm assured that she loves it. That's Brene for March. So even though this project during 2022 was supposed to be exclusively women, the war in Ukraine broke out in February, and I knew that I wanted to do something. So I had the idea to come up with a quilt of Vladimir Zelensky, and I raffled him off for UNICEF Ukraine. So this version, this is the second Zelensky quilt I've done. He's actually unbound and unfinished at the moment because I only just finished quilting him a couple of weeks ago. So he has like just over 1,600 pieces. He's 72 by 54 inches and 9 different shades of between black and white. So 9 different shades of grey. In my defense of this year of women, I think he is the man of 2022. And I wanted to not only kind of mark this historically with a quilt of him for me to keep, but also kind of honor one of the bravest presidents I've ever seen, and highlight the Ukrainian plight as well. May, for me, is Martha Beck. Martha is an author, and she is made up of 1,500 pieces in 12 different colors. She is also a 72 by 54 inch quilt. I had not heard of Martha Beck before 2022, but anytime I'm sewing, I will listen to podcasts and I will listen to audiobooks. And one name that kept coming up was hers. So I just kept feeling a nudge to find out about her. So I immediately went and bought her book on audiobook. And then I kept finding myself every kind of 5 minutes stopping it so that I could go onto Facebook and tell my friends and family, Martha Beck's just said this. Isn't that insightful? And since reading that one book, I now follow her on social media, and she does the cutest podcasts. And she just seems like such a beautiful, genuine person. So I made the quilt for her, and then I sent it to her. So she has it. I have been assured that she loves it. So that's me. I'd like to introduce you to Miss June. This is our Queen, Queen Elizabeth II. I say our Queen because you might have noticed I have an accent. I am a Brit and I now live in Oklahoma. And I think that's part of the reason that I really wanted to do this quilt, that I was homesick. And the Jubilee was coming up, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to go home and celebrate with all my friends and family. In April, when the local media came over to film my fundraiser for UNICEF using the Zelensky quilt, they all saw this quilt in progress and loved the idea that not only was I making this quilt, but then I was going to send it to the Queen. So then they all wanted to come back and film, which they did in June. This one, she's got about 2,700 pieces. She uses 13 colours and she's 54 by 72. This is my version. The original has been sent to Buckingham Palace, so I'll talk about the original. The original has about 2,500 beads hand sewn on the crown and the tiara. So when I thought I was being super clever, and so I finished the quilt back in May, and I jumped on the Palace's website, Buckingham Palace's website, because I was like, I need an address to send this to the Queen. And so on the website, in no uncertain terms, it says the Queen does not accept unsolicited gifts. So that broke my heart a little, but I thought, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to write to her. This is for her Jubilee. This is to say thank you. So I wrote her a letter, and I included in the letter pictures of the quilt I'd made her. And I went ahead and I sent it to Buckingham Palace. The Platinum Jubilee happened June 2nd to June 6th. I enjoyed it. I decorated my house. I flew the flag. I think I represented Britain well. And then at the beginning of July, I got a letter in my mailbox. And as soon as I saw that crest, I knew this is from Buckingham Palace. And so when I opened the letter, the first thing I saw was the card. And I think this is the card that she has had done. This is like the official card to mark the Jubilee. And then also with the card was a letter. Dear Mrs. Bushrod, I'm writing to thank you for your recent letter to the Queen, with which you enclosed photographs of the splendid quilt you have made to commemorate Her Majesty's Platinum Jubilee. It was kind of you to suggest you would like to send your quilt as a gift to the Queen. Can I advise you that this should be sent through Royal Mail Post to Her Majesty at Buckingham Palace? The Queen was most grateful for your message of congratulations and for your kind words, and I am to thank you for your thought for Her Majesty at this time. Yours sincerely, Mary Morrison, Lady in Waiting. I start crying, and I realise that my quilt is going to go to the Queen, and that I have a letter in my hands from the Queen's Lady in Waiting. So that started a journey which only finished a few weeks ago, honestly. I packaged it up, I sent it to my mum back in my hometown. While this has started happening and the Queen's quilt is doing its rounds, I'm realizing, oh my gosh, this is quite a big deal. I want a copy of this quilt for my family to keep. And so this is where this quilt comes in. She's an exact replica of the quilt that went to the Queen. But as for the Queen's version, that was boxed up and sent to the palace on a Monday, and it was supposed to get to the palace on a Thursday. And that ended up being the day that the Queen died. So as you can imagine, we were heartbroken. The quilt didn't actually arrive until the Friday, and so I know she never had a chance to ever see it. It's been a journey working through that. I think I finally kind of come to the realization that maybe this, everything is happening just as it should. And maybe this will bring some comfort to her family. So the quilt is at Buckingham Palace. I don't know what will happen to it. And I don't know that I will ever know what will happen to it. And I'm okay with that. Actually, probably out of all the quilts I've ever made, this has got to be my favorite. July is Miss Frida Kahlo. I first discovered Frida's artwork in 2006, and it intrigued me enough to go and research her and see what she was all about, because she seemed so different, and that started a love of Frida Kahlo for me. I love that Frida would challenge the perceptions of femininity with her facial hair and her unibrow. Everything about her paintings just fascinated me. So when I came to make her, I knew I wanted to do something a bit different on this pixel quilt and make it 3D and make the flowers really a big visual part of the image. And that definitely started a process that was incredibly frustrating and took me like a week. I had an image in my head of how I wanted this quilt to look, but then translating that into something that looked good was really hard. I ended up deciding, okay, I've got to make the flowers, and the way I ended up making them was to go buy flammable materials, cut each petal out, and then singeing each petal and hand sewing them on. As a result, the process of actually just doing the flowers alone, like I said, I probably spent a week on, which translated is probably 35 hours just doing that part. So she has almost 1,500 pieces in her. There's 12 different shades of grey and one pop of pink. 54 by 72 inches. And I am still looking for a home for her. I'm trying to find somewhere that honors her legacy. It was by sheer coincidence that some of her work ended up in our local museum, the Philbrook Museum in Tulsa. And so they invited me along to come and bring the quilt and take some photos with some of her exhibits, which was beautiful. August is Miss Maya Angelou. She has over 2,600 pieces. She's a big one. She's 96 by 74. 12 different shades of grey, but also in addition, there is a little pop of colour in there with the log cabins. Maya was my first time trying to do something other than a completely plain background. I really kind of pushed myself with this quilt, and I love the log cabin effect. My mum tells me it looks almost 3D. Maya is totally one of my favorites. Again, I'm looking for somewhere to send her. So I've reached out to a museum and I'm waiting to hear back. And then in the meantime, Maya is the third quilt this year that I have gone ahead and made twice. The other version of Maya that I have done, I applied the concept of the log cabin and I did every single block in this quilt as a log cabin. From the outside, you can't really tell there's much of a difference, but it's only when you get up close you can see that actually every element of this quilt has log cabins through it. September is a lady called Selena Myers. I had a little competition on my social media and I asked people to nominate someone who inspired them. So what creator inspires you on social media? And then I picked one at random, and the random one was a lady called Selena Myers. Her account is Selena Spooky Boo. The quilt was just over 2,000 pieces. It was like 2,063 pieces. I used 11 different colors, and it's 54 by 72. She is so funny, so lovely. Her account started off by showing her sleepwalking escapades, which are hilarious. She has like over 25 million followers now on TikTok, and she seems so sweet and lovely. So I actually only just boxed up her quilt 3 days ago and sent it to her. So her quilt is still en route at the moment. October, I haven't started yet, and actually October as a quilt has the most pieces I've ever done, so I really need to start it. October is going to be Oprah. The pattern I've come up with, she's got nearly 3,000 pieces. It's really detailed, so I know it's going to take me weeks and weeks. I really need to get it started. She is going to be 54 inches by 72 inches. There's 10 different colors in her, but as of yet, I have a pile of fabric that I'm waiting to cut, and I need to get going. So November has been planned, by which I mean I think I know the image I'm going to use. I just know that November for me is going to be Adele. Adele is a British singer. She is the only person that recently my family said, if you could see one person in concert, who would it be? And I picked Adele. So I am making her in the month that I'm going to see her. I mean, I will do my hardest to try and reach out and see if there's any way I can give it to her in person. You'll have to follow me on social media and see what happens there. And finally, December, my last month. I don't know. There's a few ladies that I would like to honor. Obviously, I can only pick one now because I will only have 1 month left. So it's to be decided. I'll let you know. So that's it. I document the good, the bad, and the ugly on Instagram and TikTok mainly. So if you want to follow along, just look me up, Pixel Quilts, and you can come on this crazy journey with me. Thank you for being here and watching me and seeing my journey to date. Thank you.
We're so excited to be with you, and that was wonderful to see some of those quilts.
And that's a new ambassador, Dee, and we're so grateful to have her become a part of the Grace family. So looking forward to see what things that she's going to bring to the table, show us her tips and tricks and techniques. Very, very exciting.
Yeah, it was really impressive. Yeah, I know, check her out because, there's the questions. I think even ourselves were sitting here trying to figure out, how she had pieced the quilts and all of that.
And all the detail work. Man, that was absolutely crazy, and they're all so stunning. And who she picks out to choose from, because we have so many talented, crazy people around here. So it was a great story.
Yeah, it was really neat to be able to see all of it and to hear some of those, and kind of maybe a little bit of how she picked them or why she maybe picked them. So that was really neat. And I know, we're really excited to bring her on as a new ambassador. And then we actually are really excited to see some submissions that you guys have done throughout this fall festival.
We do have a shout out today for Robin Anderson. And she was sitting at home yesterday working on her pumpkins. And she commented on that. She loved Amanda's class. It made Amanda so thrilled that you were interested in trying her technique on the book covers. So make sure if you haven't joined or seen yesterday that you pop back in and watch or rewatch if you've missed anything. So that's the beauty of this, is that if you feel like you need to watch something again, you can.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's wonderful. That was super neat to see that of Robin. And again, we would encourage you guys, please, throughout this, send those images to us. Yes.
If you're gonna do a boot, we want to see what you're working on, the colors that you use, the fabrics. Email them to Carla with a K, K-A-R-L-A @graceframe.com. I love to see your work and what you're working on. And I've seen so many talented quilters out there, and they show me their progression and what they're working on. It is so much fun, and it does inspire us here at the Grace Company. And it's fun to show off what you're doing.
It is, you know.
And how you're using the products. That's what's
yes,
fun too.
I think that's one thing that was really neat with Amanda's project is she really showed us, I think helped put a different perspective on it. And something even when she was doing it, I was like, what is she doing? You know, like, and I was like, I wonder what she's going to do.
That was her unique perspective. It's like when we came together and decided, what are we going to do for classes? That was what she wanted to do and work on it because it's something that she had been watching. So she thought, how can I incorporate that using Grace products? And she did. She did a great job. And so did Madison, man. Those boots are so cute and fun. And she decided she'd try a pattern that she purchased online. And then she went the next step and designed her own pattern. So that's just kind of the progression of quilters that we go through. We start out with the pattern, then we think, oh man, I've got this down. I can do it on my own. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. And Robin, we're so glad that you're a part with us today. So thank you for joining us. So she's online.
Yeah, wonderful. You know, and you know, for those that were watching or didn't watch, you are able to go back through and rewatch any videos that we have done and that we actually will be doing next week's once they're done. You can go back through in the watch now and watch those for a bit to come. So please keep an eye out. And then especially with ones like that Madison had done, you know, we are going to have that pattern available. So stay tuned. We are going to work on getting that up. And again, it'll be under that specific video. So go to your watch now, select it, and then that's again where you'll be able to find that specific pattern. So you can actually kind of walk through that process of putting it together with her in that one.
And we're going to walk you through the website as well and help you understand how to navigate some of the features and find them, you know. So that's what we're going to do as well. So just let us know if you're having any problems and you want to know something specifically also that you can email me and let me know how we can help you make this fall festival even better.
Exactly, you know, and that's where I do want to walk you through a couple different things. One of them, you know, we're kind of talking about Robin and her sharing her wonderful, cute little pumpkin with us. Thank you.
And Kathy says, please, I couldn't find anything. So she's wondering. So let's walk them through right now.
Yeah, so one thing I want to show you first is a little bit about the home-based quilter. I want to show you kind of where you can go and then really how you can share your story with everybody. So we're going to go ahead and take a look. So first you're going to start off just on our main website here, so graceframe.com. And then one of the easiest ways is you see this banner going across the top here. It's going to be one of the ones here. It says
Notice
a place
the arrows
for all
on
quilters.
that too. So there's arrows sliding you through.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yep, you can see it over here on the left,
or the right.
And the right side. Correct. But all you're going to do is hit Learn More. And then once you're there, it's going to take you to this screen. So this is really that home-based quilter. You can scroll through and kind of see what it's a little bit about, getting to know us, again, with what that is. And then there is a questionnaire that I would prompt you guys to fill out because we're really excited to get to know all of you. Again, that's really what this is.
And it will ask you some key questions of what kind of quilter are you? And so it's kind of fun to answer all those questions and see what kind of quilter you are.
Exactly.
It's like a mood board for quilters.
Yes, yeah, no, that's a great way to look at it. You know, and then it is really fun that once you get into there, this is where you'll be able to see some of other stories.
Our
the
fun
ones
ambassadors
on there.
and their home-based quilting stories, so yeah.
Yes, that's the couple of the ones you'll see that are on there now. And then if you continue to scroll, this is where you can hit share your story here. So again, this is where once you click in here, take it here. There, scroll all the way down. This is where it'll take you to this page. And again, this is after you hit share your story, and it gives you some prompts ideas of maybe what you want to share your story on. But again, it can be absolutely anything. Maybe it was, you know, something you watched here during Fall Festival. It's like, oh, I got some inspiration, you know, and I'm excited to get started on doing this. You know, maybe I am going to go follow Amanda's steps. You know, I'm going to make a cute cover, but do my own twist. Or I'm going to come up with a new paper piecing pattern, you know, for getting that. So any stories like that, or how did you fall in love with quilting, like we've heard from some of our wonderful ambassadors. Again, we're really excited and are hoping that you guys really will go through because we are excited to hear from you and hear your stories.
And share your stories because they're so important to each and every one of us. And we're all on a different journey. We're on our own journey. But we're doing it collectively together. And it really does help motivate and inspire each of us on the journey that you're on. And so we're all going from different directions. We're busy people. And so it really does help motivate us. So please become a part of it and join the community.
Yeah, no, and then get the inspiration because I know I loved watching the segment where some of our ambassadors talked about their quilting journey or getting started with it because I was like, oh, it was so neat to see some of them, you know, had inspiration, whether it was from a previous family member, you know, or grandma or grandpa. And then other ones, it was, I went into a quilt shop, you know, and I started and they didn't maybe like quilting as much, but got into it a couple years down the road because it was some more fun colors in there. So again, really everyone's journey is different. And then I know yesterday when I was actually doing a segment with Jarek, he was really excited because he's like, he's just
picking out his fabrics. He's going to start and piece his own very first quilt. He designed it. That's what's exciting. He picked out his colors, and it's a lot of fun to see how he's going to do it. I'm kind of trying to teach him different techniques to make it a little more simplified, because we all need to start out a little easy and then work towards that advancement in our quilting journey. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see what he does, and I can't wait to show you. We'll probably show you on Tuesdays with Grace. So
yeah, that'll be really fun. I know
tuned.
he's really excited, and I'm hoping that he'll also put that story on the home-based quilter as well. So I think because it's a great inspiration just to really, I think getting started is the hardest part.
And you don't have to own our products to become a part of the community.
Absolutely.
And we want you to know that. We want everybody to join. We want you to feel welcome and inspired. So please join us.
Yes, absolutely. Now, before we're, one couple other things I want to show is I do want to talk a little bit, I want to show you guys how you can donate to the Navajo Quilt Project. So I want to do that really quickly.
And that was a great segment yesterday too. And I hope you all were able to watch. If you didn't, please go back and watch it, because it will truly tug at the heartstrings. So
it will. It's a wonderful one. So again, I'm going to go ahead. We'll show you here again how you do it. So again, you're just going to start out on our main website, so graceframe.com. Then again, we are going to go through this banner that's on the top here, again, using those little arrows on the side to go through. So this is where you'll come to watch now on our Fall Festival website. It's going to take you to a page that looks like this. Now, before I go on, a couple questions have come in about, hey, you know, when I go there, the bingo's no longer there. And that's because you've already played bingo. Once you've done that, that will go away. So just so you know, again, if you haven't, that's where you'll see it. If you have, that will disappear for you. But again, going in and being able to actually donate for that Navajo Quilt Project, you're gonna go here and you'll actually go to the event schedule. And so once you're there, it'll take you to a page like this. And so this is where you'll scroll down. And again,
if you don't remember this, play around on the website. Start clicking on buttons and you'll be able to navigate your way through, okay?
Yes, well then especially as well, this will be available later to go back and watch.
Right.
So if you get confused or whatever, you can come back to this and watch it. But it'll be actually, again, under the watch now specifically, because it is a segment that has already happened. But I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to find where we actually talked about that here. So it's on all videos, keep going down.
It'll be on day 1.
Yes, oh, here it is. Yep, so right here, the Navajo Quilt Project. So to donate, you're going to simply click that little segment. It's going to take you to this screen. This is where, if you'd like, you can go back through and watch that segment. Then over here to the right, this is where you'll see the Donate Now. This is when it'll take you to that page of where, and really share a bit more about that project, as well as how you can actually donate, and really, honestly, what you can donate as well. I thought this was a really great thing that you can do a monetary donation, or there is some supplies they're always looking for. So again, a lot there that really you can donate as far as that
really
Navajo Quilt
important.
Project.
And if you can, we encourage you to donate whatever you can, because to help everybody, it's just really important.
It is, yes, you know, and it's wonderful. Again, if you haven't seen that segment, I would encourage you to go back through. It's really neat to be able to see. And then again, even with it, hearing their stories, we want to hear your stories as well. What was your journey like getting started with all of that? But kind of here we have a couple giveaways we're going to do. We have 2 different ones we're going to do now.
Yeah.
We have a $200 gift card we're going to give away, and then I think it is the Master Cutting Collection that we're going to give away. Yes.
So very exciting, yes. So
yes.
Let's see who our winners are.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and first do that $200 gift card. So this is a really nice one because it is just $200 for TrueCut. Anything across the board there, again, that you can use with that. So
great mat, always can use them.
Exactly. And then we have a couple different sizes of mats. Get a couple blades, you know,
they
cutter.
do last, you guys. They do last a long time.
They do. Yes, and they're double-sided as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, invaluable. I just had to get rid of my very first one the other day. I used it so much. So there does come a time when you have to get rid of your mat. So yeah, and put it towards something that you really need. The rulers, the cutters, the comfort cutter. Oh, wow. Truly will make a life difference in your cutting experience. So
yes, yeah, wonderful. Well, let's go ahead and do a drum roll for this $200 gift card. Woo! Awesome,
Chris.
congratulations. So we will be reaching out to you to make sure we can get you this $200 gift card, but congratulations, there is a wonderful selection you can get with all that there. And you know, we're gonna give away the Master Cutting Collection, but for those that maybe aren't gonna win, we have some amazing deals on TrueCut, and then even our other frames, you know, machines.
Now's the time to purchase. If you've been wondering, looking, and if you put everything in the basket and haven't purchased yet, waiting for it to come on sale, that's kind of how I shop. I'll just say, pick out all my favorites, and then I'll decide to purchase. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and now is absolutely, you're right, Carly. Now is the time because it is on sale. There's been a couple questions of, you know, hey, when are the sales going to end? And for our frames, they are specific for this fall festival. It's through the 16th.
Especially the cutie frames. So if you're planning on purchasing, now is the time to buy. It's at the best price we've ever had it. So
absolutely. Yeah, it's amazing, you know. And then kind of going back to it again is we do have those amazing TrueCut products. And so we are going to be giving away that Master Cutting Collection. This one is wonderful because it literally comes with pretty much everything you need here for that.
Lots of grips, lots of rulers, lots of blades, and a sharpener to boot. So yeah.
Yes, wonderful. Well, let's go ahead and do a drum roll for this giveaway. Awesome. Tammy.
Yay, congratulations. You're going to love it.
Yes, you really will. It's fantastic kit. And especially that one, yeah, we said it comes with pretty much everything you're going to need.
And the squaring up rulers, the square ones, oh, you'll love them.
Yes, absolutely wonderful. Well, thank you everybody for joining us here for these giveaways.
Thanks, you guys.
And we're so excited. We're going to actually take just a short break, but then we'll be back with a couple other
segments.
Email
me what you're working on. Remember, Carla with a K at gracerun.com.
Wonderful. Yep, right up there on the screen.
See ya.
Thanks, everybody.
Hello, my name is Courtney and I work here at the Grace Company in the Education Department. So I have picked this rooster by Donna Mounts and it is just stunning. It looks like it's been paper pieced and I love, 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 love that it's all scrap pieces. I am a huge fan of just using scraps and whatever you've got rather than going out and buying new fabrics. It usually creates something really unique and beautiful in the end. This one's very, very cool because this person tried not to use the same fabrics twice in any part of the chicken. And I love that. The blues in the tail are so gorgeous. I am a huge fan of birds. Anyone that knows me knows that I am a huge fan of birds. And so naturally I'm very much drawn to this adorable chicken. It looks like a ton of work went into this paper piecing. I know how much work paper piecing is. And I think this one turned out really, really nice. I think it'll be a really beautiful centerpiece if they decide to kind of put it in part of a quilt. And I think it's a really beautiful piece. Well done.
Hi, my name is Mark and I'm with the Grace Company. I've been here about 11 years and I've been pretty excited to do this. I get to look at the quilt blocks and the quilts, and there's one that really stood out to me, and I want to go ahead and point this out or bring this out. The one I picked is Log Cabin Heart by Tanya Harrington. And the reason why I chose this, I was going through there were so many to choose from. But when I came across this, I thought of my little girls. One in particular, my little girl, she's 6 years old and all she does lately is draw hearts. And we got her a couple things and she just creates hearts with everything that we've got her. And so when I saw this, I thought of her. And the description made it even more evident that this is the one I needed to pick. The description was, I made a whole quilt of blocks for my son and daughter-in-law. It was pain to piece, which I bet there's a lot of piecing going on there. The whole thing together, 15-inch blocks. I had a template that I had to write step by step on which piece to sew next, but I finally got it in the groove. Lots of unsewing involved until that point though. My daughter-in-law is really into hearts and loved it. And so yeah, I love this one. I know there's a lot of work that went into this, a lot of piecing. So by Tanya. So Tanya, I am sure that this was a very painful piecing that you had to do. But I just really enjoyed looking at the heart, and it just made me think of my little girl who loves to do hearts as well. So thank you for submitting this block. And again, I appreciate all that you've done, Tanya, and the quilting community.
Hi, this is Melinda Romero, account executive with the Grace Company. The block that I picked is Ribbon by Carol Fowler. I chose this block quilt, or quilt block, I should say, just because to me, it's a whimsical fairy tale. I loved the color, I loved the stitching, and it really just, it's simple but elegant, but at the same time, just like I said, very fairy tale-ish, which I absolutely love. I think anybody would love receiving this quilt as a gift. You can tell just by the intricacy of the pattern itself that there was a lot of time spent making this particular quilt. Again, just the different colors, the quilting patterns. Again, a very excellent job on this particular quilt. And again, I just love it. It just screams to me, let's get lost in our fairy tale. I love the intricacies, everything about this particular quilt.
Hi, my name is Kyle Sommer. I do industrial design and some engineering here at the Grace Company. The block that I really like today, or that I found that I really liked, is Farm Scene by Sue Peony. And it is a scene that kind of depicts this beautiful, flowy background and like clouds and sun, as well as like these flowy fields using different pieces of fabric all stitched together and pieced together. And then there is a farmhouse and a silo in the background. I really love all of the slight color variations of these strips. It gives it a lot of flow and motion, and I don't know, I just find that the fields in the front, the foreground are really beautiful, and it kind of captures like those, like the wheat or hay that would be growing on this farmhouse. It's a very calm, like quaint, idyllic place, and it's a place that I'd like to visit someday, or you know, I would, if it was, you know, not just a block. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, I'm Allegra Erznosnik. I'm an account executive here at the Grace Company, and I picked the block Mariner's Star by Deborah Bice. I picked this one because of the detail and the color work specifically. I really love the circles around the border. You can really tell that there's a lot of detail and a lot of effort and work that went into this specifically. And the color work I also really like. I'm a big fan of blue, so there's a lot of blue in here, and I think it pairs really well with the red and the white. Along with that, I really want to go back to the ruler work as well. You can tell there's a lot of effort that was put into this work, or this block, as you can see. You have the details around the edges of the block, and then again that circle in the middle, and then you can see that the stitching really traces each one of those points around the star, then the ones in the middle as well. And I'm really a fan of that. I really dig that.
Hey, my name is Jarek Erznosnik. I'm an account executive here. I work on the sales team. Sometimes I show up on videos. You might have seen me in some other videos that I participated in here on our YouTube or live events we do with our dealers. Today I am going over the swirl, and it looks like it's by Claudia Lucas. I was looking through for one that I like. This one just really caught my eye. I just think it's really cute, and I really love the color gray, and also some of the like writing and like basically the fabric that they chose and designed. I just think it came together really well, and it really caught my eye when I was looking at it. And also the cream and the white colors, especially, you know, the segments with like the text and the writing in there, and just the spiral as well. I think it makes a super cool pattern when they're all put together, and it's made from just for 4 blocks. And there's a lot of comments on here that people saying they love it. I love it as well. I think it's really creative, and it's a little bit more different and unique than a lot of the other ones I was seeing on there as well. But I love them all. It was kind of hard to pick one, but this one is really the one that spoke to me the most, so I really like it.
Hi, my name is Dan. I'm a video editor for the Grace Company, and the block that I picked was called Light by Doris Miller. I really like just like the contrast that she picked out with the reds and the greens and blues and purples, and I really like the design of the candle in the very middle. I just think that the theme of light has always been kind of a really cool visual to me, and just I really like where she took this particular, like the direction that she took with this block. Because, I don't know, something about the way that it looks, it kind of looks a little bit like she picked some blocks with some really cool designs on them, and then she made her own really cool design using the circular pattern that almost looks a little bit like a maze. And I don't know, there's just something that really speaks to me about this particular piece. I really enjoy it. Good job, Doris.
Hi, I'm Cody with the Grace Company. I'm happy to be here today to be able to talk to you guys about some of the quilts that have been presented into our fall festival. And it's just been really fun to go through these quilts because They are all so beautiful, and so picking a favorite can be so difficult. The block that I picked was The Blooming Flower by Melissa Jameson. And I just really liked it because it just had a lot of depth, and I just really like the colors and the flow for it, and I just really think that something that is pieced together that can be able to create that dimensional depth look to it is always just something that's super fun to be able to do for an artistic ability, because that is just something I really enjoy and relate with, because I think that it's just something that can be quite difficult to do, but is also really rewarding when you do it right. And so this is one of my favorite for that reason, because I just really enjoy that aspect. And it looks like they also worked really hard on it, and I just really think that they did a good job.
Hi, my name's Ryan, and I work in the engineering department here at Grace Company. And the block I chose was Cabin Block by L. Anderson. And what really stood out for me from this quilt block was it is very outdoorsy. I am a big fan of the outdoors. It also reminds me of my aunt and uncle's house in Montana, so it was a little nostalgic. So one of the things that stuck out for me when I first saw this quilting block was it was mountainous, and it was definitely out in nature, and that reminds me of a camping trip I took into the Ozark Mountains a few years back, and the scene that I have in my head of when I went camping is very reminiscent of the block that I ended up picking, because the similarities were very striking, and it really stood out to me, and that's one of the main reasons why I chose this block.
Hi, my name is Brian Landine. I'm on the marketing team here at the Grace Company, and I have really grown to love and admire the quilting community and everything about it. My favorite block, I chose Cabin Block by L. Anderson. I really liked this because I feel like quilting, just like any art form, it's powerful because it can appeal to emotions. And everyone's emotions are different. For mine, I have always loved the mountains and forests. For example, like with the cabin and the mountains and everything, I just am always reminded of countless camping trips with my dad and fishing trips, and just not necessarily one specific event, just a lifetime of always going up the canyons and spending time in the mountains with my dad. So seeing this cozy cabin in a mountain forest with a beautiful sunset just really made my heart stop a little bit. I just paused and looked at it more than I looked at anything else, because it just went right to me and was kind of exactly like a perfect picture of what I see as my own happy place. So thank you, Anderson, for working on this and making it look so beautiful. I really like it.
Hi everyone, my name's Madison and I work here at the Grace Company. I'm a part of the education team, and I swear this is the best job I've ever had. And I'm here to talk about which one of my favorite blocks were in the community blocks. And I chose Triangles and Diamonds by Melissa Dempsey. I actually loved this, and I loved all the different patterns and the fabrics. And her description is that she made these from 10-inch squares, and she strategically placed them. So, and it's part of one of her jelly rolls that is her favorites. I love this because it is so neat and all the lines line up perfectly, which is so hard for me. I don't know how you did it. I always have at least one line that will squiggle out or something like that. So I love the colors that were picked. I love the purples and the pinks in it and the contrast with the black, and I love that. I think that this block truly does give off such creative qualities about it, and I really do want to try it out and see how I can adapt it and make it my own too. Melissa, you did such a great job, and I'm so grateful that I was able to see this block and I was able to comment on it. Thank you so much.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining and staying with us. My name is Mark.
And I'm Cody.
Yes.
I'm excited to be here today with you guys.
Special guest Cody. Cody is our engineer manager. He's the one that puts all the love in the product that he creates and develops so you guys can have in your home.
Yeah, and I love being here and being able to interact with you guys. It is just so rewarding to me, and being able to see all the comments and stuff that you guys have, and being able to see the beautiful quilts and things that you guys have made and been able to submit to our fall festival. It's been really cool and really rewarding to me to see some of the amazing stuff that you guys do, because to me that's what it's all about, is being able to help you guys be creative, because that's how I get to be creative. And so I just really love that.
That's right. His creative juices keep flowing because of that. So we're happy to have Cody with us. He's a bright young man, and he's awesome, and he's full of energy, which we love. We're all about energy here at the Grace Company. So again, thank you for watching our entire second day of Fall Festival. Yesterday was our first day of Fall Festival, and it was a really good one. A lot of great stories, a lot of good comments. And today was no different. Again, it was fun to be and fun to see. So again, thank you for joining. We want to, I always love to end with giveaways. You guys sat through the entire Fall Festival, enjoying all the bits, all the learning, all the festivities of Fall Festival. Now let's do some giveaway prizes. I think you all want that, and I think we want to also give stuff away, right, Cody?
Heck yeah, we definitely want to get you guys some more products.
That's right. All right, so right to Cody's right, we have the Plinko board. And so we're going to drop that Plinko down. And if you guys have been watching us, you guys know the drill. We have 3 hard questions that you're going to answer for us. And I love some of the comments coming in, so thank you for participating. Continue to throw those comments in there, and we'll love to bring them yay prizes, oh boy, hello, good luck. Yeah, good luck to everybody. So again, thank you. All right, so Cody, being our new guest, I'm going to just put the spotlight on you. What question, can you think of a question we could ask everybody to get a prize going?
Yeah, I can do that. I mean, we could start with, what does HBQ stand for? Does anybody have any know? We can talk about it a little bit on the show. You guys kind of know what HBQ stands for.
That's a great question.
Right here.
That's a good, yeah. No more hints. That's a great question. So HBQ, what does it stand for? To get a Plinko prize. And on the prize board, as we get answers coming in, we have the TrueCut product. Now, for those who don't know TrueCut, TrueCut is a wonderful cutting product that keeps your cutting easier, safer, and more accurate. And so Lori, home-based quilter, so congratulations, Lori.
Yes, good job.
So Cody,
all right, let's get you a prize.
Down.
See? Ooh, the ruler bundle. That's a really great bundle. It's going to be awesome, and it works great with our TrueCut cutters, all of our cutter lines, because they have these guides on them that makes it so you can stay and keep straighter cuts every time, so that way you can cut consistently, which is really great. They're a really great ruler package, and so I think you're really going to enjoy these.
That's right. And in that ruler bundle, just to give you the sizes, Lori, it is the 6.5 by 24.5, the 3 by 18, and the 6.5 by 12.5. So you get all of our rectangle rulers. You get that guide. That guide serves a couple of purposes. One, it's safety. So if you're cutting with your regular rotary cutter, you won't jump over the track and nick our fingers like some of us do, or damage the ruler. So you have that nice safety feature. But if you really want to take advantage of our rulers, you want to look at our ergonomic cutter or a straight cutter that has a guide that interlocks with that ruler track. So congratulations, Lori, on those 3 rulers on that one. Okay, so question number 2.
Question number 2.
Do you have another
one? All right, I think we can come up with another question. What's the group that you can donate to that we've been talking about here in our fall festival? Do you guys have any answers?
Good question. And we want it to be the exact name. It's 3 words, right, Cody?
Yep, 3 words.
And it's a donation, the charity donating that everybody's been donating to. So what is that charity? And it's like 3 words, and that's all the hints that we will give you. So some of them are coming in, so great. We'll let them keep coming in more, and we'll
get a few more answers in here.
Get a few more in there. All right,
All right.
so Kathy Tanner, congratulations.
Yes.
Quilt project. Okay,
job,
so
Kathy. Okay.
We'll drop down a Plinko.
Let's get another prize. Let's try the other side here. See what happens. Oh, ruler bundles again. I love it. That's a good package though, so we're really excited. So that'll be a good one for you. It's gonna be the same sizes, and so I think that is gonna be great. You'll really enjoy those.
Ruler bundle. Congratulations. Now those who are getting, now we mentioned earlier, do you see the email pop up? So email Melinda@GraceFrame. So all those on-site prize winners like Plinko, anything that's not registration or pre-registration, please email Melinda@GraceFrame.com so we can reach out to you and send you your gift. For those of you guys who, again, going back to the TrueCut product, the TrueCut is a system. If you're looking to control your cutting more, to be accurate, we have a wonderful line of ergonomic cutters, straight cutters, rulers, true grips that keep the ruler from sliding. So please check out on our website all the TrueCut products. They are on discount during this month, 20% off. So go ahead and check that out if you don't win. So congratulations on the winner so far. So yeah, right there, 20% off on all TrueCut products, and that ends this month. And so if you haven't had a chance, go check out our website to look at these products. I know you could probably think of someone who has some of those stresses or concerns or issues or anything else that when they go to cut, right, Cody?
Yes.
If you keep veering away from the ruler's edge, if you go up and over the ruler, stressing your fingers and your hands, all those types of scenarios, the TrueCut product will keep you cutting straight, and it is an easier, safer, more accurate cutting system.
Yep, exactly. And they are great cutters, and like he was talking about with our My Comfort cutters and working with that as a package with our rulers, they really do make it so instead of holding your wrist like at an awkward angle, you can put your hand right up above it so you can not have to use as much force when you're cutting. It just makes it a lot easier and really helps it so you can make more cuts for longer and not have as much wear in your body, which is just super nice.
That's right. I like how you're just doing that. That was just hurting me watching you trying to bend.
That's how I try to cut with our
bend that wrist. There you go. Okay, so let's do one more.
Okay.
One more. And I'm just going to throw it to you. You've been 2 for 2 so far. So Cody, hit it off on the last question.
All right, we're going to try another one. This might be a little bit trickier. I might have to give you guys another hint, even though he was saying that I couldn't do that. But I think it's a good idea. But on our motto, we have our sentence, what is the last line of our motto? And I'll stand up here and see if you guys can get another hint.
Yeah,
it's been something we talked about a lot yesterday. It was a fun line. I was really excited to hear how people engaged and interacted with us.
There you go. So we'll keep it up there. We'll see if anybody gets that. If not, we may have to stand back up and give them that hit.
I'll see if that was long enough.
That's right. I love it too. I mean, it is true. That one sentence creates and develops the whole kind of community around the home-based quilter.
Yeah.
So
it really is. And that's what we're trying to create is a community, people that we can engage with, because it's just so important for us to be able to engage with you. We need to be able to figure out what your problems are, what your wants and needs and everything that you guys want with quilting and with how you guys can be more creative. And so that really is important to us. And we really want to be able to help inspire you so you guys can inspire us and just we can all share all of our passion together, because it is just so fun to be able to work together and be able to make beauty in the world and be able to help continue to share our own stories. I think it's just so great and so awesome what you guys do all the time. And
well
Angela
said.
King up here, she's got that answer.
Angela King.
Yes.
Congratulations. Okay, I am my own kind of creative.
Yes,
right?
and when I was listening yesterday to Fall Festival, I just thought that that was a really inspirational message to me, because I'm just like, everyone is so different, and being creative is your own. Like, that's what you want it to be, because everyone can do so many different things, and like just even looking at our quilts, they're all so unique and so beautiful, and it is so amazing to me, and I just really think that it is so fun to be able to see that. All right, let's get you a prize now.
That's right, Angela, we'll get you a prize. Maybe go on the other side of that.
Yeah, we'll go on the opposite side of the Plinko board. See if we can get something different. All right, our circle cutter. That's a great one. I really love our circle cutter. It's a really fun product. It really helps it so your fabric doesn't move around when you're making your cuts with your circles, so that way you can get more consistent circles as you're cutting. And it really is a super helpful tool to be able to make it so you can get consistent circles, and you can easily adjust your size to make it so you can make different circles, and it's just really easy to use. And so I just think it's a wonderful product, and I think that you will really also enjoy this because it really does help you make more consistent circles in cutting, which is really easy to do. And it's a lot easier than trying to cut it out with a rotary cutter or even with scissors, because then you end up with straight lines. And so it's just so much simpler, and it is really fun to make quilts with circle patterns.
That's right. And I love what Stacy, love the comments. So we can pull Stacy's comment up. There you go. Yes, Stacy. That really sums up creativity. None of us create the same, but we all have our special talents and skills to celebrate. And that, Stacy, well said. I think if we can just take that, and a lot of us who are new to quilting, beginner to quilting, maybe fear of free motion quilting, just remember, kind of like what Stacy said it there, you know, you are your own creativity, right? And none of us are the same, and it is special to you. So I love what Stacy said. So I just wanted to bring that out because I was just looking at the comments. Many of the comments too that we can pull up, we love to bring it out. Like Lisa, I love to use the cutter and ruler when I attend my quilting group. She's probably showing off, right, Lisa? You're probably like, hey, look what I got. No one else has this. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But Lisa, I love to use a cutter and ruler when attending my quilting group. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities to use these cutters, especially when you go to your guilds and cutting at home. So take advantage of the 20% off all of the TrueCut product. Go on our website. Again, if you're thinking of someone who needs an ergonomic cutter, thinking of someone who can benefit from the cutting straight, it may be you. If you've been thinking about all the projects that you've been cutting, and you're the person like, oh, fabric is not cheap, and I keep veering away from my ruler's edge, take advantage of the 20% off and get you your ergonomic cutter with the tracking guide system with our rulers.
Yep.
All right. So as we move forward, continue bringing your thoughts. You know, as we do these live segments, we love to interact with you. So any thoughts you have, we want to put them up on the screen so people can see them too. So continue your thoughts. We're very grateful. And so there's one, I wanted to point out this person. So let's bring up Heather Park Martin on the screen. I love that I can skip my chores and watch the Fall Festival. Are you kidding me right now, Mrs. Martin? You should be doing your chores. That's my wife, everybody, so I just want to make sure. That is my wife.
I saw him say that,
Yes.
and I'm like, okay, I know this.
Yes. So she's skipping her chores to watch Fall Festival, and I bet a lot of us are skipping something, whether it's work time, doing your chores, neglecting our kids to watch Fall Festival. So thank you so much for being with us through this entire festivity. We love it.
Yep.
All right, so as we talked about Fall Festival, we've been talking about our sales. We've been talking about the wonderful prices we have, but we've also been talking about the home-based quilter a lot, right, Cody?
Yep.
The home-based quilter brings the community together, and that's kind of, well, that's what we've been doing here at Grace Company. And so the home-based quilter, and I know, Cody, we've been talking about this right before the segment, how much you really enjoy the home-based quilter that we've developed.
Yep, exactly. I really do. And that's what this is all about, putting on the Fall Festival and being able to interact with all of you as home-based quilters. We really want to be able to interact with you, and so that is what we are trying to accomplish. We want to be able to interact with home-based quilters, with all of you, with people who are continuing to put beauty into the world, to be creative, to be able to make it their own, to own every stitch. We just are all about that. We love interacting with you and being able to be part of this community with you, because it is just amazing, and I think all of you guys are amazing, and I just appreciate being able to be a small part of this community.
Yeah, absolutely. Part of being home-based quilter, we understand that as you're developing your skills, as you're looking to elevate your quilting, we know that there's going to be new products, right, you want to purchase. You want to have a better, unique system in your home that would allow you to develop all your creativity, all your skills, creating all the unfinished objects that we have. And we do that with all of our products. So that's one of the reasons why we love putting our products on sale, because it helps get your foot into that door. Like, oh, I couldn't have purchased a long arm machine or a mid arm machine, but now I can with these wonderful prices. And let's go ahead and talk about these prices, because all of our show specials throughout this entire month includes a free frame. That's right, a free frame. So if you just fell over or out of your chair, or you're standing and you are wanting to sit, that's right, a free frame. So when you purchase a machine, of our 16 or 19 or 21 series, you get a free frame. And let's kind of go over our website now to show. I'm going to go ahead and pull up our website just to show you guys how to get there. So this is our home page on our website, and we have this beautiful slider that goes across, and you can go ahead, and what we'll do is we want to go and find, look at all these wonderful, so you can watch, but let me go back, there it was. Okay, so go ahead and get the spooky good deals and go ahead and shop now. And these are very spooky. All right, the first one that we want to talk about is our Cutie frame. It's a tabletop frame, Cody. And as the engineer of Grace Company, you helped develop this wonderful frame. Tell us in a quick synopsis why we came up with the Cutie frame.
We created the Cutie frame for a lot of reasons, but one of the big reasons we made the Cutie frame was to make it so we can make quilting more accessible for more people. That is one of the things that we really are trying to do, is make it so that quilting could be accessible to everybody. And quilting before the Cutie frame could be a very expensive adventure, and I mean, it still can be, especially fabric and everyone needs a lot of fabric. But with the Cutie frame, you can be able to get into it for a lot easier, and you don't have to dedicate space, because besides the cost factor, there's also the fact that it's very hard to be able to dedicate space in every home. And with the Cutie frame, you don't have to. You can quilt anywhere, and you can be able to put it on your table, or just have a folding table that you can store in a closet and then set it up and you can then quilt, and then you can put it away, so you don't have to dedicate space. And for me, at my house, I think that that's really cool, because I have a lot of kids and we like to do a lot of creative things. My wife's very crafty, but my kids would always get into that project and be able to mess it up or play with the fabric, and it's a hard dedicating space like that in my home. But with the Cutie frame, now when we're done with our project at night, we can be able to put it away, which is just really cool. And that was some of the goals we had behind designing the Cutie frame, which I just think has been a huge help, and I really hope that everyone enjoys it, because it really is, I think, something awesome.
That's right. Thank you, Cody. So again, the Cutie frame, just like we see there, you can fit on any table. You don't have a room large enough for frame. Don't worry about it. You have the Cutie frame. You can take it with you as you travel.
Yep.
You can move upstairs, downstairs, outside. Take it with you in an RV. The Cutie, take with you where you want to go and quilt. So it's a wonderful, and it's $589. So you think about doing king size quilts. Those frames are about $3,000 frames to do a king size quilt. You can do a king quilt with your own home sewing machine for $589. So take advantage of that. $589, you can get Cutie frame and put on any table.
That's a good price.
It is.
That is a good price. I mean, normally it's what, $1,000, right?
That's right.
That's a good price. $1,200. Yeah, that is a really good price. I hope you guys jump on it, because that is wonderful deal right now.
That's right. Now with the Cutie as well, as we mentioned, we have other frames on sale, but going back to all of our frames, you can also get the $989 frame of the Q-Zone hoop. So the Q-Zone hoop, much like the Cutie, it's a 4.5 foot frame. You can do king size quilts. Now this frame has legs, so you do need to find a dedicated 4.5 spot in your home. You can do king size quilts, and again, you can use your own home sewing machine. So just like the Cutie, so $989 for this hoop frame. The Continuum frame, this is our rolling rail frame, is what we call it. It's our professional frame. This is normally a $3,000 frame, on sale for $21.99. This now, Cody, this is the frame that really separates, if you have the space, you can go ahead and take this beautiful frame into your home. You do need you can get an 8 foot, 10 foot, or 12 foot size of this frame. And so you do need a dedicated spot. But this one, you can do your king size quilts or smaller. It is set up beautifully, easy to set up too. That's one thing I want to make sure people understand, is all of our frames, they look big and a lot of bolts and nuts and complication, but I promise you it is real easy, right, to set up.
They really are very easy to set up, and they really do make it so quilting is easier. It is very nice. If you have the dedicated space, it is definitely worth it to be able to get the full-size frame and be able to make it so you can get through your quilting a little bit faster.
That's right. Okay, and as we move down, now we have our Q-Zone Queen, another beautiful frame that's on sale for $1,200. This is a queen size frame. And all of our frames up to this point we're talking about can fit up to 19 inches of throw space. So the cutie, the hoop, and this queen can fit up to 19 inches of throw space. The only one that can go bigger is our continuum. Our continuum will hold a 21-inch throat. We have our Q-Zone Queen at $1,200, and again, that's $1,900, so you're saving about $800 on the Q-Zone Queen. Okay, now the part that I love, we're going to elevate your quilting. That's been the message with our 16. It's a beautiful machine. We have 3 machines in this 16 series. If you're looking to upgrade your machine, don't shop anywhere else. The 16 is what you want to get. You have 3 models to choose from our M series, our X series, and our X Elite series. Anywhere from $34.99 up to $49.99. And they include a free frame again. So go ahead and get whatever machine you're looking for to get the free frame. And so you have your X manual, your X machine, and your X Elite. We talked wonderful messages about this machine. Feel free to watch it on our website. This is our newest machine, 16-inch mid-arm, beautiful stitches, easy to maintain, easy to use, and it's just a great machine. Okay, now let's go ahead. I love doing live. Let's go ahead and move forward here. Now let's bring that message back up here with behind the scenes. I want to see that last message you guys put up for us, please. All right, and as I scroll down to here, okay. Okay, so the 19 series, the 19X Elite, Cody, this is one of our other newest machines, and it is 19 inches of awesomeness, and you can put this on our cutie, our hoop, and our continuum frame as well. So $76.99 with a free frame. Again, these prices, so you're about $8,400 with the machine alone, and about $11,000 with the frame. So you can get the frame and the machine for $76.99 on the 19X Elite. All right. Our 21X Elite. Okay, this is our big, awesome bad boy. 21 inches of throw space, $84.99 for a long arm with features that no other machine has in the industry, with edge warning, you have lights that you can dim, you have a 7-inch screen. This machine is just beautiful. So if you are looking to get a long arm and you're thinking, well, the price, well, now you can get a free frame with it. Go ahead and look at the 21X Elite and all of our other machines, but this is a very easy, user-friendly machine at 21 inches of throw space that customers can use. And I know, Cody, with you engineering all of these, you had a lot of wonderful touch and features that you were able to create and put into these machines. So Cody here, that's why we love having Cody on here, because he's the one that helped design and create these machines for you to have in your home.
Yep. And with all of these machines, one of the things we're trying to be able to do is make it so you guys can quilt with more confidence, making it so quilting can be easier, so you can have less problems, so that way you can be able to just focus on being creative, that you can just focus on being able to make that beautiful texture, on being able to finish more quilts faster. And so that's one of the things that we're really trying to always look at. And each of those wonderful, beautiful machines that you guys can choose from there, I mean, it really comes down to, for you, kind of what works best for you in your home, and being able to know, like, because with the bigger machines, you can get bigger block sizes, and so that makes so you can quilt a little bit faster, but then it comes down to being able to what works best for you and in your home and everything. So but they are all wonderful machines, and so if you really can, like the 21-inch machine, we really will make it so you can quilt faster, because you can have less zones, you'll have to do less rolling, and you can get a bigger block size, and that's just really awesome, and it really does make it so you can focus on your quilting without as many problems, and it's just really makes it so quilting can be easier. With some of those features like the edge warning, where you don't have to worry about your space around you, you can just focus on what you're doing at the moment and being able to make it so you can get that beautiful texture.
That's right. Thank you for sharing that, Cody. Now, all of our products that we talked about, I want you to qualify yourself. Look at all of our wonderful deals, from our 16s to just our frames to our 19 and 21, and consider a couple questions, right? One is, how much space do I have in my room?
Yeah.
Is a cutie, is a hoop going to work best for me? Am I using my home sewing machine that I love, that I feel comfortable using, but you're realizing the 9-inch throw space or 11-inch throw space isn't working or isn't as big as you want it to be? Now you are wanting something bigger. Then the 16 and the 19 and 21 will fit in there. So look at kind of what you're doing with your machine, how big of quilt size blocks are you doing, and then kind of ask yourself a couple questions. Do I have room for a frame? Am I looking to go bigger? Am I looking to finish more quilts? So I want to go bigger on my quilt block. Stitch regulation, all those questions and more. If you need some help, call us, the Grace Company. We'll be happy to help you. As well as I know a lot of you guys are around our wonderful dealers who take care of you, takes care of us. They're awesome to partner with. Look at our dealer locator. You may find a dealer close to you and they have these exact same prices. Go to your local dealer, give them your support, let them know what you're looking for, and we will work with your dealer to get you our machine and frames that you have your mind set on. I love some of these comments coming in. I'm going to ignore Heather Park Martin because she's commenting a lot. No, I'm just kidding again. I'm just kidding everybody. She's been commenting. So I love the comments. Keep bringing them in there. I know we have a lot we got to cover. So thank you for the comments. We got birthdays coming up, anniversaries. People know a guy. If it's your time to quilt, your time to shine, look no further than the Grace Company. Okay, last but not least I want to bring up is our automation, Cody. Our automation is a question that we get asked a lot. Does it fit on our frames and our machines? And obviously they do, and it fits on the Cutie more importantly. So if you're looking at the Cutie frame and our hoop, the Quilt Motion is compatible with our Cutie frame, and it is on sale for 30% off, so we can bring that on here. So 30% off our automation, which is a huge price increase. So $34.99. You have about $1,500 savings from the beginner package. And then we have our QCT5 Pro, Cody, which is our best automation. You can design your quilts, you can design your patterns, you can record, you can save, you can import, you can export. There's a lot of things you can do with our QCT5 Pro. And if you already own beginnings, upgrade now at 30% off. Go ahead and get the Pro features at $1749.96 if you want to go from beginnings to Pro. And then our Gold Card is compatible with our Pro software. Gold Card gives you way more other features, gives you access to more patterns. You can quilt in and quilt out, which is wonderful on the QCT5 Gold Card. So our automation rounds off our wonderful prices we have going on for the month, from our free frame to our beautiful machines to our automation to our 20% off TrueCut product. There is something for everybody. Just consider where you're at in your quilting, where you're at in your journey, that these products can elevate you to the next level. Consider some of those questions and you'll be happy as you do so, as you figure out what product to choose from. Okay.
Yes.
Well, Cody, our time is nearing to the end. I love having you on. You bring such a great dynamic to why Grace Company does what they do for all of these wonderful quilters, from designing products that keeps them comfortable, keeps them quilting for the community. Just like our home-based quilter, we want to bring the community together. So thank you for everybody who's been watching. I do want to point out real quick on the Navajo, I love when people could donate. So as we go on our schedule, you can go ahead and on our event schedule, go down to our Navajo quilt. And right here on the donate, and it'll bring up where you can do monetary donations, and here are some other donating that they're looking to, from batting quilt stops, finishing quilts. So here's where you can go and donate from our website. So be sure to check that out. Okay, before we go, Cody, I almost forgot. The most important thing of the segment is our giveaways, right? 2 registration giveaways we have. One is our cutter combo, and the other one is our cutie, right? So we're going to give away our cutter combo first, and this is our My Comfort cutter with 2 blades, and our circle cutter with blades as well. So this, we'll get a drum roll. So this is our pre-registration for the cutter combo. So let's go ahead and get that drum roll going. And it is Paul Allen. Congratulations.
Yes. Good job, Paul.
TrueCut cutter combo. And Paul, we have your information from the pre-registration, so we'll be excited to ship this out to you. All right, the Cutie frame. Yep. The Cutie is what we talked about.
Gotta get one more out there.
Yep, it's designed for home-based quilter. It's designed for you. So Cutie tabletop fabric frame. Let's give this away. Let's go ahead and do a drum roll on this as well. Cindy Welsh,
Cindy.
congratulations.
Yes, good job.
The
Congrats.
Cutie. Again, we have your information as well, Cindy. Cody and I can keep mumbling on. We almost forgot about the giveaways as we're ending this just because we talk so much. Thank you all for joining with us. Please stay tuned. Next Thursday and Friday, we'll continue this fall festival. You have the long weekend. Well, not really long, but you have the weekend to consider what you're looking to buy. Please reach out to us, 800-264-0644. You could also email us, and then also go to your local dealer who's ready and willing to help and provide the same awesome promotion prices. So thank you for joining with us. Cody, thank you for being on set with me.
Yeah, it was excited to be here.
Yes, you guys are all awesome. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you next Thursday.
All right, we'll see ya.